Many of you may find it hard to believe that I'm here. However, I wanted to formally respond to recent accusations that Karl Jobst made of me related to Apollo Legend. May 26th, Jobst released a video downright loaded with false, defamatory statements. But first, Ricky's world famous sauce is running a sale. Get 10% off all sauces at rickysauce.com using the discount code KarlLost at the checkout.
Billy Mitchell has been dropping meme after meme on social media, dude. I don't know if any of the allegations are true or false anymore. I don't know what I believe. All I do know is that when Karl Jobst defames you in 20 videos, you only sue him once because you're a chill guy, dude. You're just a chill guy. In fact, all right, we're going to be repping the iconic garb of Lord and Savior himself, Billy Mitchell here, with the iconic coin and hot sauce combo. The combo meal, boys. The Ricky's hot sauce combo meal, dude. I find this funny. This has not gotten old for me yet. Billy Mitchell going on Twitter, bashing the shit out of the guy who's like, I'm going to destroy him, then I'm going to go after his family. I think it's funny. I think it's fair game. Despite the fact that I enjoy Karl's content, I still watch Karl's videos. But this is funny, and there's no way around it. People can cope all over social media saying, Billy is bad, though, and now this is like a villain arc or whatever, and it's like you've allowed this villain arc to be created by, like, sucking Karl the entire time, so you're part of the problem, I guess. Like, you have contributed to this. So, you either die an absolute legend or live long enough to become a lol cow. Now, I've heard, I think it's public, I'm 99% sure, I said it last time, but I'm pretty sure he's launching hot sauce with Lol Cow Podcast. Keem had sent me a picture of some of the mock-ups, and he assured me that I will be getting one, so I'm very excited for my Ricky's famous Billy Mitchell Keemstar hot sauce, dude. I can't wait.
Is this really
lolly? It tastes like victory. The upcoming Ricky's world-famous sauce marketing campaign. Oh no, dude, I can't. I actually can't. Can you get in trouble for this? I feel like you can get in trouble for this. Holy shit, dude. I see you in Nick DeOrio's chat all the time. When are you going to do the special double XL size bottle for him? Soon, says Billy Mitchell. Okay, so this is the video. Is there anything else here I want to check out before we watch it? No, that's the other one. Okay, let's take a look here.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
Base.
Billy Mitchell is my sauce king and an avid Nick watcher.
So if you guys don't know,
no one will ever make me hate him.
I gotta be honest with you. If you guys don't know, all right, Billy Mitchell had published
Nicholas,
a YouTube video.
The GOAT. Thank you for the $5.
Prior that many people had overlooked. Initially, we watched it on the channel, and by the time my stream was over, like the day of the trial, Billy had taken it down. And I don't think it's back up. Like, the Billy Mitchell video he made after finding out the results was shocking. Oh, it's this one. Let's watch this quick. This video was the one that Karl was bashing, and it's apparently recently been made public again. It was taken down. That was the wrong move, because in hindsight, this is a banger video 4 years ago, going over the lawsuit. Like, this proves the information was out there.
To everyone who took the time to click on this video, I'm Billy Mitchell, and welcome to my channel. In fact,
like, if people had taken Billy seriously enough to watch why he was suing him, I think this whole thing would have been treated a lot more differently.
Many of you may find it hard to believe that I'm here, because I almost never upload to YouTube for any reason. However, I wanted to formally respond to recent accusations that Karl Jobst made of me related to Apollo Legend.
It's like so obvious what happened here now in hindsight, right? We are 25 seconds into the video, and it's like, I need to respond about what Karl said regarding Apollo Legend. And I can't stress this enough. When people were making their videos saying what happened, this video didn't exist anymore. It was down. So there was no, like, way to go look and see what the initial response was prior to the lawsuit, because this is him announcing he will be suing Karl, right? On May 26, 2021, Karl Jobst released a video about me where he alleged that I drove Apollo Legend to suicide by imposing financial stress on him in our settled agreement. This is a lie. Apollo Legend never paid me any money. Please see my official response in this video. All it would have taken is just watching this.
May 26th, Jobst released a video downright loaded with false defamatory statements. The most heinous accusation related to Apollo's passing. In the video, Jobst outright states that I drove Apollo to suicide. In his words, he may as well have just said murder. For those of you who haven't seen it, here's the clip.
He also sued YouTuber Apollo Legend for $1 million. I haven't spoken about this publicly, but this lawsuit ultimately ended with Apollo giving in and settling with Mitchell. He was forced to remove all of his videos about Mitchell's cheating and paid him a large sum of money. This left him deeply in debt, which required him to find extra work. But with his ongoing health issues, this was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life.
How many of you have never seen the actual clip as to why he apologized, and you just saw it now for the first time months after the story had already been kind of circulated? That is the clip. It was right here in this video. That was like playing with fire.
Not that Billy Mitchell would ever care though. In fact, when Billy Mitchell thought Apollo died earlier, he expressed joy at the thought. The lawsuit against Apollo was just as frivolous as the rest, and Apollo definitely would have won in court, but
I guess the reason why I'm showing this to you is despite what you know about Billy Mitchell, or what you think you know about Billy Mitchell, in this case, it's pretty fucking clear what happened. Seeing how the judge ruled it, seeing how confident Karl was, seeing how it was not really conveyed super well as to what he was even being sued over, seeing all the issues that were happening with the GoFundMe and who was paying for what, before, because I haven't seen the video yet, I need to go in with a level of charitability because, like, this guy got raw dogged by the public. I have to give him something here. This is insane in hindsight.
again, he was extremely ill and couldn't handle the ongoing stress.
These claims and that story are demonstrably false. They are a total lie. Regardless of any...
Wow, it really seems like he's mad about his Donkey Kong scores in this video. You can see the way that his posture. I'm reading my tarot card right now, and it says that his real motive is to target him over video game scores.
opinion of me or my dispute with Apollo, let there be no confusion. Apollo never paid me any money. I never paid Apollo any money.
But what about the Pac-Man scores?
There was no financial transaction between Apollo and myself ever.
But what about the leaderboards?
Apollo never even paid any legal fees of any kind. It is impossible for this tale that Jobst has told you to be true, because Apollo never paid
But MAME, I noticed when you loaded into the map.
a dime in the first place. In my hand, I have the settlement, and it proves...
But what about Walter Day?
proves everything I'm saying right here and now. The reality is that Apollo and I reached our settlement.
What about Steve Wiebe?
And we went our separate ways. We left everything behind us. The agreement had no long-lasting impact on his life and did not exert any impact afterwards. Contrary to the Jobst lie, I did not want to ruin the life of a young man with medical problems. That was a major factor in my walking away with no financial compensation whatsoever. Even before...
But the red joystick! And here's a clip where he lied under oath.
Before we settled, Apollo told people that our dispute was not among the principal problems.
But what about the goal that my chat just hit? And then the new goal
he faced in life.
Apollo's own words. Hi. I think that Billy Mitchell's scores in the video game are good. No,
In this message from July 2020,
oh my god, there's evidence in here? What the fuck, dude? Oh no!
Apollo said that, quote, "The lawsuit has definitely raised my stress levels, but I have a lot else going on," end quote. That was in July. In August, our situation was completely resolved, and his tragedy 4 months later came after Christmas. That is why he didn't say
That's the saddest part. Like a lot of that stuff, like Christmas is a fucking really down time for people who already have it hard.
anything about me in his final moments. I simply wasn't a factor. And again, contrary to Jobst' tales, that I didn't care about his tragedy, Apollo and I reconciled the past quite well during our negotiation.
Because Karl, his argument is, here's a time when Billy would have been happy that he killed himself. Therefore, but if you don't know that they did reconcile, and if you don't know that there were no legal fees transferred, or like, and you're not educated enough to make a claim like that, you need to be really careful before you say that somebody caused a fucking suicide or contributed heavily to a suicide, right? Like, the implication of what Karl is saying is that Billy is responsible for what happened. And that's just not possible. I'm sorry. I don't believe that, like, somebody who knows his own friend, Dark Viper, got quoted in the suicide note, which, by the way, I don't believe Dark Viper is responsible, despite Apollo Legends' own words, just to be clear. I don't know if you can make that claim about Billy just because you're mad at him, you know? I don't...
Although forgiveness is a big thing, I was saddened to hear about his tragedy. The real reason why Jobst fabricated this story to blame me for Apollo's suicide is because he wanted to rile up his viewers' emotions. The reality is that Jobst recklessly talked about an agreement that he wasn't privy to, and nothing he said was true. It was very premeditated, and it was very calculated. I was going to ignore Karl forever.
That doesn't appear to be true. It seems like he was going to sue him at some point, or he wanted to sue him by that point. For sure, right? I don't necessarily believe he was going to ignore him forever. He'd already sent him a legal notice about something else prior.
But this cannot be ignored. I plan to respond the way that everybody anticipates for me to respond. And Karl, expect me.
Dude, he's a supervillain. How could you be mad at this guy? Holy shit. So in the 5-minute video where he goes over why he's suing Karl Jobst, can you tell me what part about this had anything to do with video game scores or cheating? Please, somebody. I would love to know. Where is the explanation as to why? And let's see the comment section. Oh, that's the 4-year ago edit. His hair looks like he's wearing a hoodie. Epic video age. Okay, this is 1 month ago. We need to see some of the older one. Apollo's last video is heartbreaking. If Billy Mitchell was a Marvel character, he would be called the Hood. The character would certainly be the villain. The saddest thing about all this is it's over something that was created to bring enjoyment to people's lives. Let me see. It's all about his hair. All the comments are about his hair. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Regardless of anything, okay, so Billy has experienced a taste of blood. He wants more. He cannot be stopped. We're already dead. Holy shit. Here we go. He's just a normal man. He puts his leg on. He puts his pants one leg at a time like everybody else. Okay, dude, why is this all about Billy's hair? I wasn't expecting this. I was expecting something related to the video. Is that the only thing people pulled out of this? You say he didn't pay any money, but he owed money, or was he going to pay you? That's the big question. Billy's response was no. He didn't even owe me money.
Nicholas, the goat. I appreciate that.
I don't entirely understand the situation. None of this should have happened to begin with, especially over video games. Video games are meant to be fun. Like, there's people talking about video games in the fucking comment section. Tipster! Me, but I believe Billy when he says he would have ignored Karl. I was a big critic of his and covered his story extensively. Well, I'm pretty sure he literally sent a notice to Karl prior. Like, prior to that. Unless I'm completely wrong. Billy, if you're in the chat, please correct me or send me a DM. But I'm pretty fucking sure that the order of events was he had already sent him like a, not like a lawsuit or whatever, but he had sent him like a cease and desist or something, or like a legal notice of some kind. Like a lawyer had written something and sent it to Karl. I am by no means a fan of Billy Mitchell. In fact, I don't like him, but it doesn't feel right to pin Apollo's decision. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there were people here being fair. Is there anything else here? Yeah. Do a live high score to prove them all wrong. Like, this guy just clicked on the video and was like, yeah, it's about video games. I already perform live scores on my Twitch channels, he says. So this is the new upload here. This is Billy Mitchell in current day, post-lawsuit victory from the video that we just saw. Obviously, this would go on 4 years ago to be a long, arduous journey to the point where, like, we got a live reading of Karl Jobst's messages and comments read by the judge of the trial that didn't paint it super well either. Billy Mitchell is here to take his victory lap 4 years later, and we're going to hear him out and hear what he has to say.
Greetings, everyone.
Looking dapper as always, Billy.
I originally didn't plan to create a video relating to Karl Jobst.
The best part of this video is that you can hear him in your right ear.
I originally didn't plan to...
My point is that I never got threatened to be sued. Yeah. Because I never accused him of killing Apollo. That was the deal breaker for him. Yeah, that's when it got real. 100%. I think that when you accuse somebody of, like, being responsible for a fucking suicide, you have to be, like... There's got to be a significant amount of shit that justifies your reasoning. You can't just drop that willy-nilly, right? I think that you have to be able to demonstrate, like, a continued... thing or give some kind of indication that would point in that direction. And for the most part, I think that YouTube suicides are often weaponized to the point where, like, it invalidates the person's emotional state when they were in that position. It's like, we didn't know this guy was even depressed. We didn't even know it was happening. But what we did know is it's your fault he's dead. It's such a weird contradiction that you'll see over and over again. It's like, yeah, I had no idea this was going to happen. I'm so sad about it happening. But you know what I do know? It's your fault. You made this happen. You pushed him to suicide. None of us saw it coming, but you did because you made him die or whatever. Like, you know, every time a YouTuber dies, we get that same explanation.
Create a video relating to Karl Jobst. I felt the judgment spoke for itself. However, after Karl Jobst's response video, and a few other statements by him, I feel compelled to speak. I also feel that this video provides a good opportunity to correct a few past claims by Karl Jobst. But first,
let no one ever forget that Dark Viper, actually, they are gonna forget, because you're banned from the fucking channel. I'm sorry, like, just shut the fuck up. Stop trying to pin people. Stop using Apollo Legend to attack everybody you hate online. I don't care what he wrote in his fucking suicide note.
Ricky's world famous sauce is running a sale.
Like, I don't like Dark Viper as much as the next guy. I'm not gonna put a fucking man's death on his fucking head. All right, that guy will slander me any day of the week. I'm not fucking saying Apollo Legend was killed by Dark Viper AU. Fuck off.
Ricky's world famous sauce.
Ricky's world famous, boys. Woo!
Is running a sale. Get 10% off all sauces at rickysauce.com using the discount code Karl Lost.
I actually did use Karl Lost when I purchased the special Australian blend, dude. What was it? The dragon sauce. Let me get the picture of my dragon sauce that I bought so you can see I'm a huge shill before I cover Karl. So when he inevitably responds to this, I get more hate, dude. I cannot wait. Where's my Ricky's hot sauce, bro? I gotta get my second bottle when the lol cow sauce comes out. Here, dude. Here's my dragon sauce with my iconic arcade 1-ups in the background, dude. My blurred Pac-Man shit. Dude, the Mortal Kombat stand with the Pac-Man machine in the background showcasing the fucking dragon comes. The dragon has come to Australia, dude. My Ricky's hot sauce. Signed by the man himself, Billy Mitchell. When I built this shadow box of Billy Mitchell's iconic wins, it was ironic. It says Billy Mitchell... video game player of the century, King of Kong, on a plaque on the wall in my home arcade. It was ironic. Now, okay, now it is legitimate. All right, it has legitimized itself in my Billy shrine.
At the checkout. If you missed the recent special edition
What color were those joysticks? That is the picture of the red joystick. It actually is.
Dragon Sauce sale, stay tuned.
Dude, Smaggle in chat, Ricky's hot sauce caused the death of Karl's taste buds. Karl's taste buds are so soy. They tasted delicious hot sauce, and it burned them, or whatever. Dude, he's got such pathetic taste buds that they were destroyed once they tasted like something that they can never recreate. Holy shit.
Because bottles number 1, 22,
Nicholas,
117,
the goat.
and
Thank you for the
$2.50.
Oh, this is
$5,
it. So the one, there are numbered bottles. Mine was actually number 5. I had number 5 or sent to me. But if you want to buy the special ones, 122, 177, or 256, because there are only 256 made, those are going to be auctioned off on eBay.
6 will appear on eBay soon. We call them the 4 kill screen bottles. Also, watch the new film from the creators of The King of Kong featuring me, Steve Wiebe, and Walter Day titled Arcades.
Dude, you're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe. Do you guys remember when I bought the graded autographed Billy Mitchell trading cards? I bought them for I actually, there was a guy who put up the graded card for $100. My graded Billy Mitchell autographed card. Dude, you're not going to believe this, chat. You're not going to believe this. They are now going for $150. I haggled that guy down to $50. I literally could make $100 profit on my Billy Mitchell autographs. And this is an ungraded card. Holy shit, dude, we're actually rich right now. Well, I'm checking the eBay listings. We have fucking went to the moon, chat. The fucking moon. Wait, there are so many new Billy Mitchell autographs, dude. Wait. Billy Mitchell Beckett authenticated sticker. Oh, it's not signed. Never mind. Damn, I would have bought that. Yeah, every Billy Mitchell autograph is over $100 now on eBay. $100, Billy Mitchell signed video game Hall of Fame trading cards with proof. 2 of them, dude, for $100. It's a steal. Dude, the video game Hall of Fame, bro. Dude, would you buy this? You get $5 off if you use Klarna to pay for it, whatever that is. Dude, if you use fucking... Holy shit, bro. $179 for another autograph on here. $150. Bro, Billy Mitchell to the moon. Billy coin, but not really a coin.
And love songs, The Ballad of Walter Day. That information is available at arcadesandlovesongs.com. Firstly, Mr. Jobst claimed that he couldn't disclose the subject of the lawsuit.
Hold on, you're a pump and dumper. I'm going to the moon with my Billy Mitchell autograph collection, okay? There is no way I'm selling yet. This is gonna go for $1 million, dude. I'm going to hold.
Mr. Jobst claimed that he couldn't disclose the subject of the lawsuit to his viewers is false. This is because the...
Actually, you know what? Who's gonna feel really stupid right now? People who put all their money in XRP when they could have bought Billy card. If you have XRP, you should sell all of your XRP and buy it Billy Mitchell autographs. It'll probably be worth more in 10 years.
subject of the lawsuit
I'm not a financial advisor.
to his viewers is false. This is because the claim, which is the document that I filed in court to sue Mr. Jobst, in which I clearly set out why I was suing him, is a matter of public record. This means anyone in the world can go down to the court and ask for a copy.
And you don't even have to look at it. He literally put out a YouTube video explaining it.
tweet on Nicholas DeOrio.
Like, he was very clear why he was suing Karl.
Long-time viewer first tip. Keep up the amazing content.
Thank
YouTube
you.
drama is my guilty pleasure. 90% of my white noise is you and Chud.
Listen, they try to
10%
tell
is
you.
our nice guys. Reddit, YouTube, rolling on the floor
Base.
laughing.
Listen, they try to tell you can't watch drama content. They try to tell you we're bad or we're horrible people for enjoying it. But every night you guys get in here and you watch it because people like this shit, no matter how many times they try to tell you can't watch it.
And the court has to supply that document to them. I essentially...
Wait, Tipster has high scores in the Twin Galaxies database? Does Tipster have a trading card with the Video Game Hall of Fame? I have a signed Billy Mitchell Twin Galaxies trading card. I'm also on one of those cards too. How do I get the tipster card and how do I get it autographed? I need a Billy Mitchell card and a tipster card. How do I get it? Where do I get this card? Video game? Okay, I'm
Actually published that document to the world at large, and as such, I could not possibly claim that Mr. Jobs or anyone else had defamed me if, for example, they sent a copy to their fans so they could understand the dispute and know what it was about. He also could have done this by acknowledging what he said was false and given a genuine apology. Australian law clearly states that an apology is not an admission of guilt.
That's another thing, yeah. The apology isn't... So that's like, he can't show it to apologize on video because he's worried about getting sued again. But again, I don't know Australian law, and I imagine he's telling the truth here because if he's not, it'll be easily corrected. But he can technically issue an apology and show the clip because, like, you know, he can fucking... Like, it wouldn't be considered an admission to apologize for it. So that's not really a good excuse for not showing the clip or not explaining what actually happened.
In a 2019 case, the Supreme Court of Queensland stated, at paragraph 17, the fact that the defendant wished to contest that their publication conveyed...
Dude, I'm gonna be so... If Billy Mitchell gets in trouble here and he completely lied about something, I'm so fucked. In the middle of watching his fucking thing, I'm on eBay buying Billy Mitchell autograph trading cards. I am so compromised on this, more so than ever before. As soon as I found out tipsters on the Hall of Fame trading cards, I immediately bought the autographed one so I can try to find the tipster one and send it to tipster and have a collection. Holy shit, I am so compromised.
Queensland stated, at paragraph 17.
This is the big win here, dude. This is it.
The fact that the defendant wished to contest that their publication conveyed the defamatory meanings contended for by the Wagners was not a good reason to continue to refuse to issue a public correction, retraction, or apology. The law has long recognized that a defendant may formulate such a statement while not admitting that the meanings were in fact conveyed.
So I think that's fair. I think that's a fair thing. Again, but the reason why Karl didn't apologize is because he didn't want to. He was, you know what? YouTubers fall in this trap, and this is what I think. Obviously, it's my opinion. I think that Karl wanted this to be true, and he didn't have the proof at the time, and he expected that, like, if he walked it back slowly, he could turn back hard if he ever gets proof that it's true. That's how, like, I don't know. That would be my cope if I was in his position. Give him an inch, and if it turns out that he's like lying, rip out a mile. But it left him open because he was playing fast and loose with something that he didn't fully understand, and something with like significant implications, especially to a normal person or a jury. Right? If you're lying, like intentionally lying, slandering somebody, saying, I know that Karl Jobst has faked every record he's ever had, hypothetically, if I said that, that's not going to be hit. Like when you read that or whatever to a judge, right? If that's put in front of a judge, it's going to be judged differently, in my opinion. Again, not a fucking lawyer here. I think it's going, like, if a normie judge is hearing this, who knows nothing about online stuff, if you put, like, you cheated in a video game next to you lied about a man killing himself and blaming it on that party, I think that, like, that's going to be taken more seriously. That's going to be taken more seriously to viewers, which tells me why maybe Karl didn't articulate exactly why he was being sued. And that's going to be taken differently, I think, to judges, whether they're consciously doing it or not.
Secondly, Mr. Jobs' defense.
Billy, I spoke at 0.5 speed in this video for the Jobs sisters.
That his GoFundMe campaign intended to crowdfund for a second potential lawsuit, but redirected the funds to the existing lawsuit after the second lawsuit never materialized is bullshit. I say this based upon 3 facts relating to Mr. Jobs' financial situation at the time of his GoFundMe campaign and the timing of his GoFundMe campaign. To start, I'll state these 3 facts and then place them into context for everybody. 1. Notch, the creator of Minecraft, funded the early and late stages.
All right, I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to tell you what I think he's going to say. I think that he is going to say, because if it comes out of my mouth first, I think what he's going to say here is that Notch was paying for a shitload of his legal bills in the very beginning of this lawsuit, right? And then midway through, there was something that had happened where I guess Notch didn't even know it, but they had stopped paying Karl's legal bills or whatever. And that seems to be around the time, if I had to guess, it's probably around the time where he started crowdfunding money for the second legal threat that Billy had made. And then later on, Notch started picking up the money again. So it's suspect as to why he put this out here, right? It's suspect because this is like, hey, Billy Mitchell is threatening to sue me again, and I need money, and it'll roll over to the other lawsuit. Naturally, the more money I'm able to raise, the better my legal defense will be. That's just the way it works. And if and when I defeat Billy in court, I will likely have to pay back a lot of the costs I incurred. I will use this money to host a grand gaming tournament. This situation's already crazy, but it's gotten much worse as Billy has sent me another defamation lawsuit for $450,000. That would mean I would need to defend 2 lawsuits at the same time, both being extremely expensive, but it gets even worse because Billy is threatening me with more lawsuits. These lawsuits are unhinged, and it's highly likely that Billy will ultimately lose, but until we go to trial, it'll require a lot of money to deal with. I would appreciate any help if you're able to provide. I think he gave an update here. Thank you for the update. This is on the 19th, right? And this was posted when? We have a date for when the original thing was posted. That's weird. Is it because it's too big? I don't... Oh, well, we can just get the time of the video, right? Karl Jobst video on YouTube. Jobst YouTube video. I never actually did the dates on this. Karl Jobst lawsuit. Here. Oh, it's going to get complete... Hold on. Billy Mitchell's suing me. That's it. Suing me. All right. Karl Jobst. Billy Mitchell's gone insane. I need your help. So the date that this was posted was...
What's the name
November
of the guy?
All right, November 5th, 2022.
Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
And then whoa, I didn't know this. Wait a minute. When I covered this the first time, I didn't pick up on this. This fucking update was 1 year later. Wait. So he took the money back then in November 5th of 2022 and then does he mention that this is going to both lawsuits? Okay, defend this nail before it's over. This situation's already been crazy. It's gotten much worse as Billy sent me another defamation lawsuit for $450. That would mean I need to defend 2 at the same time, both being extremely expensive. These lawsuits are unhinged. It's highly likely that Billy would ultimately lose, but until we go to trial, it requires a lot of money to deal with. I would appreciate any help if you're able to provide. This affects not only me, but my family as well. Obviously, it's bad enough to attack me. I've done nothing wrong, but to injure them as well takes it to another level. And again, he has literally said that he's going to go after Billy's son. Naturally, the more money I'm able to raise, the better my defense will be. So it's not really specific as to which lawsuit this is going towards until you read the update where it said Billy has backed out of the second lawsuit, meaning all funds will go to the existing lawsuit and deal with inevitable future threat. Again, I think that his defense for this will be, it's a legal defense fund, so it'll cover both. It's like the FUPA fund thing. But the rollover comment is a year after he actually raised the money. That's interesting. I never clicked those dates together in my mind. All right.
The creator of Minecraft funded the early and late stages of Mr. Jobs' legal defense, but he did not fund Mr. Jobs for a time in the middle of the case. Here's the clip of Mr. Jobs himself explaining how this happened.
Good. I had some good news recently. It hasn't fully come. I haven't gotten the money yet. But right at the beginning of the lawsuit, right, Notch, the creator of Minecraft.
Yeah.
When was the date that Billy withdrew the second complaint? Well, to my knowledge, that's not public, is it? I don't think Billy, he never gave context to that, did he? Unless I missed it. At least right, like Karl hadn't.
He said he made a tweet saying
Billy said there wasn't one.
Hey, Karl,
there was never a second complaint.
I'm going to pay your legal bills. I'll pay all you.
So then what was the thing that Karl showed on screen then? are you saying, Billy, I'm going to watch your video. So, I mean, obviously, if I'm jumping ahead here and I'm cutting you off, I don't mean to be doing that, but where's the video I just pulled up? Because he does show something on screen, but it's never a lawsuit. Isn't it a cease and desist?
Hello?
That's what I was seeing here. A complaint was emailed to him, but never filed and served. Gotcha. Let me see. So he shows this. Yeah.
Me just for talking about them. So first, his lawyer sent me a letter saying that the video was defamatory. And after we made it clear that I wouldn't take the video down.
All right, I have to actually read what he says because I don't necessarily trust Karl's version of anything at this point. On September 13th, 2021, our client commenced a claim about you for defamation damages in respect to the publication of a video on a digital platform, YouTube, on or about 26th of May, 2021. The proceedings are ongoing. Mediation has been scheduled to take place before. All right. On the 10th of April, 2022, you posted a web series video titled Disgraced Gamer Billy Mitchell Accused of Extortion, which reads as follows. Okay. Billy Mitchell is guilty of extortion. Billy Mitchell has attempted to extort evidence, potential witnesses. Billy Mitchell has helped in a defamation suit against... To help him in a defamation suit against Twin Galaxies, is prepared to blackmail a witness. Okay. So...
This is already stupid enough, as in my humble opinion, he has absolutely no case, and this is just an attempt to scare me, but it still gets even.
I can't stress enough that this one also doesn't appear to be about video games.
Apparently worst yet.
Yeah, that's my big takeaway from seeing this document as it's sent to me here, is that this doesn't appear to also be about video games.
Because Billy Mitchell isn't satisfied just suing me twice. Oh no, apparently he wants to go for the hat trick and sue me 3 times. And this latest action is the worst yet. And you couldn't even make this up.
Wait, what?
Satisfied just suing me twice. Oh no, apparently he wants to go for the hat trick.
Wait, where did the third lawsuit? I think I followed this decently well. What's the third lawsuit that was filed? Wait, where... Third lawsuit?
Trick and sue me 3 times. And this latest action is...
There were 3 complaints. Yeah, but that doesn't mean there are 3 lawsuits.
The worst yet. And you couldn't even make this up if you tried.
All right, what's the difference between a legal complaint and a cease and desist? I'm trying to figure this out. I'm pretty sure... Isn't... So if you don't file it, nothing is filed. Is that not the same as, like... Like, is that not a cease and desist? I don't know. I'm kind of out of my District Court of Queensland. So, I mean, if I got this exact email, I would think that a lawsuit was filed against me. And I would then be like, well, was I not served for this? Because I don't think you can serve someone via email. But I would think, like, what the fuck? Somebody filed a lawsuit against me. Correct. If it's not filed and served, there is no lawsuit. Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. I think that, like, he could be... At this point, he could reasonably think that he is being sued, but I think it's jumping the gun to put up a GoFundMe and ask for money for a lawsuit that hasn't been filed yet. I think that's jumping the gun. I think you wait until that thing is... Unless you've been served with something, you probably ought not go and make the GoFundMe.
Illegal bills, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Lawyer here, cease and desist is just a threatening letter.
And then I messaged him, and I'm like, are you sure about that, man? You sure you want to pay my legal bills? He's like, yep, I want to go through with it. So he got me in contact with his manager. And then she started paying my legal bills. And like 3 months in...
This is about Notch, by the way. We jumped ahead or whatever, so I just want to make sure you guys know what's happening.
The manager's like, we want to stop supporting you.
And this is why... So the manager pulled support, and then Notch brought support back, and there was a pause in between when his legal bills were being paid. And if you watch Lust's content, Lust was kind of talking about how he just went to the most expensive lawyer he could find, one that he probably couldn't have afforded, but I don't know that for a matter of fact, right? But he was just paying so when he had to pay the bill himself, it became a much bigger deal, I imagine.
For context, the lawsuit started in September 2021. 2. Mr. Jobst exhausted the money that Notch gave him in or about May of 2022. And he then offered to settle the case. Mr. Jobst said this himself on October 9th, 2024 in the comment sections of a YouTube video. I'll read the relevant parts.
Wait, what?
In May 2022,
Why was this in a fucking comment? Given that you were hell-bent on making so many videos, I think I will just set the record straight. Oh, I'm sorry. Guys, I don't know what came over me. I'm completely missing something super important here. I don't know what I'm doing. Time fucking out. There we go. This is way better. I don't know what I was doing that whole segment, dude. Here. Alright. Given that you are hell-bent on making so many videos, I think I'll just set the record straight. In May of 2022, I made a settlement offer. Billy declined. I did my part to avoid this. The clips of me talking about not settling came years later, when I'd already sunk hundreds of thousands of dollars into a defense. Billy has to win, and win a lot more than $1 for the court to award him any cost. There we go, that's better.
I made a settlement offer. Originally, when I made the offer, I had spent nothing because Notch was paying. As you can see here, this isn't me acting as if I know Mr. Jobs' legal bills. These are his words.
Oh, yes, dude. Wait, oh, these are the loss? I didn't realize that was the loss. I am not upset. This settlement offer was never made public. I won't say the amount at the moment. Originally, when I made the offer, I had spent nothing because Notch was paying. It was a good option for me at the time, as I wanted to avoid everything that happened after. If Billy wins, he would need to win more than my settlement offer to actually win. If Billy loses, the fact that I offered to settle it all and he didn't take it will hurt him greatly.
These are his words. 3. 6 months of silence passed between Mr. Jobs receiving the correspondence concerning a potential second lawsuit and then him opening his GoFundMe campaign.
Wait, what?
Second lawsuit and then him opening his GoFundMe campaign. Now I'm going to place...
Wait, several months transpired in between? I wish we had dates for that.
6 months of silence passed between
6 months
Mr. Jobs receiving the correspondence concerning a potential second lawsuit and then him opening his...
Wait, so you're telling me that Karl Jobst was threatened with a lawsuit, waited 6 months when it was never filed, and then made a YouTube video saying that Billy Mitchell's gone crazy and he's suing me a second time? That should be something that is easy to debunk if you're Karl Jobst, right? All Karl would need to do, if Billy's lying here, would just be show the date that the email was received, right? So that's something that, like, I don't think that Billy would lie about it because it's a crazy fucking risk, dude. That's a checkable lie if that's true, right? So that's fucking insane.
His GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. Holy fuck, dude.
Now I'm going to place these 3 facts into the overall context. On May 10th, 2022, Mr. Jobs published a video about me that led my lawyers to send a concern notice to his lawyers. On May 22nd, 2022,
yeah,
Mr. Jobs and I were scheduled...
That looks awful for Karl, specifically because it would be so easy for him to just disprove it. To the point where, like, I'm feeling kind of weird if he hasn't already posted the email timestamp by the time I'm watching this, because it's been fucking 3 days already. Like, that's like an immediate, okay, Billy's lying again, here's the fucking message, right? That's the, guys, I'm making a video, it's coming, we're gonna be responding real fucking quick. And to not see that, I'm a little concerned, yeah.
On May 22nd, 2022, Mr. Jobs and I were scheduled for mandatory mediation in the already existing lawsuit, one and only lawsuit. Before the mediation, my lawyers emailed his lawyers a copy of a legal complaint related to the concerns notice, and my lawyers said that I would proceed with the complaint unless the current lawsuit resolved at the mediation. The current lawsuit did not resolve, but I chose not to begin.
Hold on. Wait.
And only
When was this?
in the already existing lawsuit. On May 10th, 2022, Mr. Jobst published a video about me that led my lawyers to send a concern notice
Okay, so it was sent in May
to his
of 2022.
On May 22nd, 2022, Mr. Jobst and I were scheduled for mandatory mediation in the already existing lawsuit, one and only lawsuit. Before the mediation, my lawyers emailed his lawyers a copy of a legal complaint related to the concerns notice, and my lawyers said that I would proceed with the complaint unless the current lawsuit resolved at the mediation. The current lawsuit did not resolve, but I chose not to begin a second lawsuit.
Okay, so if this is all in May, and this thing was drafted and given to him in May, he would then wait until November 22nd to make the GoFundMe for this lawsuit.
Even though my lawyers felt that the second claim was meritorious. No further developments occurred after May 22nd relating to that concerns notice and the complaint emailed to Mr. Jobs' lawyer.
Actually, wait a minute. Hold on. November 5th is when the video was published that links to GoFundMe. For some reason, and I don't know why, it says on Google that it was November. Oh, okay. So yeah, November 3rd is when the GoFundMe was posted. The video was released on November 5th. So that's when he went public about this second lawsuit, which supposedly was emailed to him back in May. I'm understanding what's happening now.
The complaint was not filed. The complaint was not served. My lawyers did not email Mr. Jobs' lawyers after the mediation.
Like, I need to hear the video. I need to hear this man's voice explain how Billy has gone insane really quickly. I need to know, like, if he actually got this in May, right? I actually need to know what
Many of you know, last year I was
what he actually said.
officially sued by Billy Mitchell. In September of 2021, Mitchell filed a $450,000 lawsuit against me to go over a couple of ridiculous lawsuits that
All right, cool.
gotten out of hand. Billy Mitchell's
Where's the new one now?
over the past 12 months
Well, poison. I get it.
insane, and I will always be in their debt for the help they have.
Okay, Notch. Oh, wait, so he literally brings up Notch immediately. Hold on.
People reach out to me and have helped immensely over the past 12 months. Notch, the creator of Minecraft, was very helpful in the beginning and has supported me a lot.
Is this really lolly?
Oh, wait, even in the video at 1 minute in, he's indicating that Notch is no longer paying his legal bills.
And
I see what's happening here. This is making a lot of sense.
then another gentleman by the name of Julian was extremely generous and funded
Read Billy's chat. Nick, check the dates of the document that he shows. Yeah, true, they're coming up in a second.
a huge amount of money. Those guys are absolutely insane, and I will always be in their debt for the help they have provided me. $180,000 is so much money. And
Yeah,
I
he's like doing a swan song for Notch's coverage here.
can't even begin to imagine what it would be like for someone who did not have the support system I do to face something like this alone. Which also just highlights how vile and disgusting people are that abuse the legal system to frivolously attack people they want to silence.
Okay, now we'll see the complaint here on screen.
To saying that he wants to sue me just for talking about them. So there, first, his lawyer sent me a letter saying
A mediation has been scheduled to take place before Andrew Phillip QC in Karen's on the 19th of May, 2022.
that the video was defamatory. And after we made it clear that I wouldn't take the video down because all of my statements in the video were literally true, and I wasn't even the person who made the claims he has a problem with, he sent me another $450,000 lawsuit. Now this is already stupid enough,
So that definitely shows the date of the meeting.
but it's still no and is just a video jokingly ago when I'm Mitchell as
Is there any other point in this video where he... oh, here.
to them. Noted. Mitchell wants to sue me for this. Shortly after I released that video, his lawyer sent me this letter. And mind you,
Oh, fuck. Shortly after I released that video, his lawyer sent me this. It's out of the horse's mouth. He just fucking straight up says it. He straight up says it. He just doesn't give an accurate timeline. We could have known about this too, guys. We could have got this too. This was out there. Billy didn't need to tell us this. We could have figured this out. No, he straight up fucking says it. He doesn't provide an accurate timeline. He tells you the name of the video, and he even says it.
This. Shortly after I released
Holy
that video, his lawyer
shit,
sent
dude,
me
I feel
this
like a fucking idiot.
letter. And mind you, this isn't just a letter, this is a concerns notice, which is a legal document that you are required to
Does
send to
Karl
someone
give any
before
justification why he thinks he's getting sued now if a concerns notice was sent to him in fucking May?
you sue them? We act for William Mitchell. This is a concerns notice for the purpose of Section 14, Defamation Act, Queensland 2005. On 13th of September 2021, our client commenced a claim against you for defamation damages in respect to the publication of a video on the digital platform YouTube on or about 26th of May 2021. On 10th of April 2022, you posted on the web a video entitled Disgraced Gamer Billy Mitchell Accused of Extortion.
So he, even before, like he's saying this was shortly after that video was posted in April.
Which is the subject of a concerns notice sent to you on 20th of April 2022. On 7th...
What's the name of the guy? Keemstar Orbiter.
Thank you.
Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
God, this is like malicious.
Astaghfirullah, Karl. He shall banished from Jannah.
Oh, on the 7th of May.
As-salamu alaykum, Billy.
of May 2022, you posted on the web a further video entitled I cheated in a speedrun and I need to come clean, which read relevantly as follows. I needed to harness the power of the greatest
That fucking clip is hilarious.
gamer that ever lived. You're familiar with Billy Mitchell, world video game champion. He could probably do it, so I gotta find a way to harness his power, and I think I found a way. That's right, we are going to cheat. Mr. Mitchell was identified in the publication by his name. The words in their ordinary and natural meaning meant and were understood to mean that
So, again, regardless of whether you think that he should or could or would win here, this does demonstrate that Karl claimed he was being sued by somebody months after without any indication that it moved forward past an email without being served. It could be like, oh, knee-jerk reaction. Somebody has given me an email like this, a concerns notice, and I think I'm going to be sued so I can go knee-jerk a fucking GoFundMe. But it doesn't make sense that he opens this video saying Notch is no longer supporting me, and then Billy sent me this concerns notice back in fucking May. And here I am, November 3rd it gets posted, November 5th the video comes out associated with it. We're getting sued again.
that your publication has
There has to be something in this video that makes this justifiable, and we're starting to run out of time here.
caused, or is likely to cause,
Billy's a video game player of the eternity.
serious harm to his reputation. Oh my lord. Billy Mitchell is a joke. He has become a parody of himself. This letter is nothing short of hilarious, and I would otherwise be laughing if not for the fact that this is a real letter written by a real lawyer that my lawyers really had to respond to. I sincerely cannot believe that even he would stoop this low. But just think about this for a moment. The video wasn't about Billy Mitchell at all. I didn't talk about him or mention him. In fact, the video was about me cheating. All I did was include a 10-second meme that I didn't make, that isn't even of me talking, that's an obvious joke, that was released years ago and already has millions of views. And Billy Mitchell...
If he's really worried about getting sued, why did he repeat the claim here but not explain the Apollo Legend stuff and then show the video of them making is that Angry Video Game Nerd? Show the video on screen. But he was afraid. He was deathly afraid to show the stuff that he said about Apollo Legend when he was covering it the first time.
started legal action against me, claiming that it's defamation. But what makes this so much crazier is that Billy Mitchell did cheat. So not only does he want to sue me over a meme that someone
So he comes out and he says this super hard right here, but he hides. He just hides and cowers like a bitch over the Apollo Legend claim.
else made, but he wants to sue me over a meme that someone else made that's true. And what's ironic is that there are hundreds of comments underneath the YouTube video of this clip of people making fun of Billy, joking, saying that he's going to sue them for posting it. And then he actually does go and threaten to sue me for using that exact clip. This is what I mean when I say he is a parody of himself. People can't even joke about him anymore because he really does act that way. Now, it's all well and good to laugh about how crazy this whole situation is, but unfortunately for me, it comes with huge consequences. I have done absolutely nothing.
Dude, it comes with huge consequences. My lawyers are, dude, it comes with huge consequences. Legends, my lawyers have been waiting 4 months to hear this thing get filed, and we think it can happen any day now. Meanwhile, we need you guys to show us some support. Now that Notch is no longer here, we need to raise as much money as physically possible. Like, dude, this is so weird knowing all this context.
Wrong, and I will never be scared into silence by anyone. But until I win in court and defeat this madness, it's going to cost a ton of money. And I'm truly sorry, but I do need help. Maybe if I was the only variable in this whole mess, I could battle my way through it alone. But unfortunately, this affects my entire family too. And psychologically and financially, some help would really benefit not only me, but them as well. So I have set up a GoFundMe to help with my fight against Billy Mitchell, and any help would be immensely appreciated. This GoFundMe is set to cover the rest of my existing lawsuit, plus the new lawsuit.
So he specifies here, not so much in the thing that we read before, but he's very clear. This will cover my existing lawsuit and
Billy Mitchell says he will be filing. Plus,
and the one that Billy Mitchell says he'll be filing, and we know there are several months in between when this was sent and when this was filed.
Deal with all of the other bullshit threats that come my way.
Now, I'm trying to think what Karl could say. Billy, I don't know, maybe if you want to answer this, what was the time frame in between the concerns notice you sent to Karl in 2021 and the lawsuit that was filed? That could be a blind spot for me. How fast from the concerns notice stage to the filing of lawsuit stage was the first lawsuit?
Way. This is in Australian dollars, so it's not as large as it seems.
Because if it took a significant amount of time, I could go, all right, well, maybe that there is something in the back of his mind that could mean that this might still get filed.
But it's still a very significant
3 months. Okay.
amount of money that it's going to take to defeat Mitchell. There is light at the end of the tunnel though. In Australian court, generally the loser has to pay a lot of the legal fees of the winning party. So if I eventually win, which does seem extremely likely, Mitchell should have to pay back a lot of money. And I was thinking that in his honor...
Can I say something to you, Nick? I
now,
really like
another thing to question, because we're going to question that, when did the complaint get filed? We have the timeline here for when the initial complaint was filed for the actual lawsuit. When did Karl make his video saying he was being sued? That's a good question, too.
I could use that money to put on an epic gaming tournament. Perhaps we could call it the Gary...
We'll check that out right after. Let's get through this.
Bobby Ferguson Memorial Epic Gaming Event for people who don't cheat in video games or sue people who call them out. I'm not sure. I might have to find a way to shorten it a bit. The next 12 months will not be good for Billy Mitchell. He has his trial against Twin Galaxies coming up, and in my opinion, and in the opinion of anyone who knows the details of Mitchell's cheating, he has absolutely no chance of winning. Especially when even more technical evidence showing that he cheated keeps coming out. As if it wasn't already conclusive enough, recently, a huge document from an electrical engineer showed a mountain of new evidence that Billy's story isn't true. And when he loses this lawsuit against Twin Galaxies, oh boy, they are going to
This is even funnier because that's not what happened either. Every Karl video aged horribly.
come after him hard. Mitchell can keep threatening people for now, but as soon as he loses one of these lawsuits, which is inevitable, he will be absolutely destroyed and everything will come crumbling down. So, this has been an update to what I've been dealing with behind the scenes.
Holy shit. All right, so where is the initial... I think I posted the links here, so I could pull it up right now. We do need the timestamp from this lawsuit, right? We could find... This is something we can actually find out right here on the stream and do a little research, something that clearly was missed previously when people were covering this, including myself, even though I don't think I made any videos about it specifically. Okay, so it was posted on April 10th, 2022. The concerns was sent on the 20th of April, 2022. So when did Karl announce that he was being sued by Billy Mitchell? Sued Billy. I think I tweeted this link. I can find this off my own Twitter, right? Karl Jobst. Here it is. I'm being sued and canceled is the name of the video. I'm being sued and canceled. Where he kind of like tucked it in. I'm being sued and canceled, Karl Jobst. September 23rd, 2021. So in this instance, he got the concerns notice. And he made this video saying he was getting sued, presumably after it had... When was the lawsuit officially filed? Billy, you got a timeline for that? September 20th-ish? Oh! So wait, he announced this one after he was being sued? He waited all this time until after he was being sued. and then fucking made this video talking about it. Oh, okay. Well, holy shit, dude. Holy fuck. Oh no. Oh god. Wait, why is my chat talking about brigading? No brigading. Do not do that. I don't know. I don't even know who we're brigading. But don't do that. Holy fuck. All right, so that doesn't look super great either. What the fuck?
To request that he accepted service of a second lawsuit.
All right, let's get back here and kind of see what, because we cut Billy off. Let's see what he has to say.
And the complaint emailed to Mr. Jobs' lawyer. The complaint was not filed. The complaint was not served. My lawyers did not email Mr. Jobs' lawyers after the mediation to request that he accepted service of a second lawsuit. It was complete silence. And as I showed earlier, at this time, May 22nd, 2022, the funds that Mr. Notch gave to Mr. Jobs ran dry. In July of 2022,
Oh, fuck, dude. And again, his argument here is benefited by Karl opening up that video saying Notch is no longer paying my legal fees. Like, that helps his case here in the story that he's explaining.
Mr. Jobs submitted an application to the court of what effectively amounted as a Hail Mary attempt to dismiss the lawsuit. That didn't pan out for him. For the sake of brevity, I'll continue on, but I'll leave an explanation of that application.
Are you going to Billy's party? If Billy invites me to the fucking victory party, I will move heaven and earth to try to get there.
In the description of the video. By the time Mr. Jobs had lost his financial backing from Notch, Notch's money was exhausted, he had failed to dismiss the case, he needed money, and he needed money now. But he knew his viewers may not open wallets if he was transparent about the true subject of the lawsuit.
Dude, I think you can make this argument. I don't think this argument is without merit. It kind of, like, the framing that I'm seeing and going back in hindsight, it does kind of look like he's like, I've got to get money for that first lawsuit, and I can't talk. Dude, hold on. Again, this is my opinion. I've got to get money for that first lawsuit, but I can't tell them about Apollo Legend because then they won't be supporting me. So we've got to make it about this one, despite the fact that it hasn't even been filed yet. It's not that crazy, guys. It's not that crazy.
What he does, on November 4th, 2022, he reaches back 6 months to May of 2022, pulls out an old legal correspondent that never received follow-up, and he creates...
And the follow-up, like, the timeline Billy gives us says that after 3 months, that was it. Like, then he filed, then it was filed. It was officially filed 3 months after the concerns notice the first time around. Double the amount of time transpires, linked up with the fact that he has now lost the Notch money. The Notch bankroll is over. Makes this thing, and it's extremely, like... And then only a year later, he comes back up and goes, I'm rolling it all over. This is never... And what does he mean by... Actually, that's another question. How do you dismiss a lawsuit that hasn't been filed? What does Karl mean when he says Billy Mitchell ended up backing out of the second lawsuit? I guess dismiss wasn't the correct term, but how did Billy Mitchell back out of a lawsuit that he admits was not filed? I don't even know how mechanically that would work, and where he would get that information from in August of 2023, right? Like, at some point here, like, what happened in August for him to post this? Almost a full year later.
GoFundMe campaign.
Nick, the GoFundMe update occurred shortly after my speech in England calling him out. Oh, fuck, you're right. Of course you're right. You know this better than me, but wait, you're fucking right. Because Billy gave a speech telling everybody that Karl was fucking him over at a convention.
What is Bunty King to you?
A person?
Who is Bunty King?
Nicholas DeOrio?
And that would line up, wouldn't it? Oh my god, because Billy did try to say it. Billy Mitchell speech. Where? Oh god, where is this? Is this it? Road to Redemption?
The guy said that he wanted to surrender or turn it.
Not that one. I pulled this up last time we were watching this. Fuck, I want to find the raw. I don't want to find Karl talking over it. Because I thought the raw was up. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. You did Billy dirty with that pause. Oh shit! I'll pull up the Karl one if I can't find. Does anyone know the name of that video? I would love to find that right now. Dude. This is fucking. This is crazy. Billy Mitchell accuses me of fraud. Sorry, the chat moved quick. Yeah, I want to know where the raw was. I thought the raw existed somewhere for the speech. But the thing was, even in the video that Karl showed, in hindsight, this looked horrible for Karl.
Now he is pissed off.
What did he say? The actual raw in chat? He said it was in England. Yeah, that's the Karl one. I think that's the clip we watched. Yeah. So it's this one right here, where he's literally explaining it.
Obviously, Billy has had success with this method of lying because the unfortunate truth is that most people will never fact-check themselves. The only reason his lies are being exposed to the public right now is because people like me and the new owner of Twin Galaxies do actually put effort into uncovering the truth. Billy...
Okay, so then he posts this video after Billy blasts him publicly at an event and gives a speech explaining all the Apollo Legend shit to people, and then Karl makes a defense video where he just like drudges up a bunch of other shit, and then he posts an update saying that Billy is officially backed out of the second lawsuit that was never filed. Holy shit.
He does not care at all how easily his lies can be refuted. He will say this guy is getting his talking point.
So she asks the question about, like, are you suing people? And then Billy asks, like, well, I got a question for you. What am I suing over?
Lawsuit.
Like, do you even know one thing?
That is...
Whoa. Lawsuits.
Yeah, lawsuits. You've got 76 of them, haven't you?
You just, like, say them so vaguely. Why don't you see if you can name them?
Yes, so, you're putting us on the spot now.
Okay, are we talking about video games here?
No. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So why don't you tell me about the video game lawsuits that you talk about?
Because Billy's pissed here, because he's like, yeah, the video game lawsuits that I'm supposedly in. And she's implying like Karl Jobst, and I think they go into the Karl Jobst stuff. And he's like, no, it's not about fucking Karl Jobst. It's about Apollo Legend. That's what's happening here. So now Karl's response to this speech is to go like, Billy's backed out of the lawsuit, and he's also a liar.
No. There's one lawsuit related to video games, and
that's the Twin Galaxies one.
It's defamation.
Yeah.
And whether it was video games or something else, it's defamation. Okay, it doesn't say video game lawsuit. That sounds great on the headline though.
Oh no, defamation lawsuit. He's referring to Karl.
So,
yeah, that is it. Though it's that headline grabbing.
Lawsuits,
all of the lawsuits, all of them. But this is the point though. It's speculation online of the fact that you do have lots of lawsuits. That's never been the case.
Correct.
It's never been the case.
Right.
So we know.
But somebody online says it, so you believe it.
That's perception is reality. That's what it comes back to.
All right, let's get to the point.
It's not a case that, and I'm sure that most people in here will briefly touch on Apollo Legend, and then we'll move on to where that's going from there. So Apollo, unfortunately, did take his own life. It was something that was sensationalized. It's something that you were name dropped in,
but not by Apollo. So she's knowledgeable of what's happening.
But not by Apollo. That was never the case. So there was a lawsuit originally.
See, she did her homework on this one. I give her credit.
Yeah. So there was a lawsuit originally with Apollo regarding some of the video content that he shared where you were mentioned. That was settled and that was all done and sorted. There was no money that changed hands in that case, and it was. I believe, and you can correct me. So
again, she's giving the explanation that he gave on his YouTube channel way back when this all originally started.
Wrong here, but the videos that Apollo,
which at that point hadn't come up, like this wasn't court tested yet, but obviously it ultimately would be.
We're instructed that's come from someone before.
All right, I want to hear Billy talk though. Here we go.
Well, there's no end to the number of people who are uninformed. They may have heard that originally, and of course they're putting stock in that which they heard without any backup. And it may be that he said, no, I didn't have anything to do with it. He did name 2 YouTubers, unfortunately, that he said pushed him to have the courage to do what he did, which is a tragedy. Later, his family chimed in and said, no, it had nothing to do with Billy.
All right, not the music.
No,
Let's wait till this part's over. Let's wait till the Apollo stuff's over before we start making the music.
To make a long story short, he reached out and contacted. Just to be clear, I never spoke to him. He spoke to my son or another friend. Everything went through them. But he said he thought he was lied to, which he was. He thought he was misled, which he was. He thought he was taken advantage of, which he was. And he named all those occasions, and he was so ridiculously honest. There's stuff he mentioned that he could not possibly know unless he was telling me the truth. So I believed he was telling me the truth. And he said he wanted his life to go on without this. And I believed he was telling me the truth. And so that's exactly what happened. What we agreed upon, he followed picture perfect. He never swayed anything, nor did we. And so when I got a phone call from a very, very, very low...
I think that's important to not commentate over, because that is Billy's explanation as to what transpired with Apollo, which if you didn't watch this interview, you probably wouldn't have gotten it.
...large YouTuber saying that he had just posted a video with what he was going to do to himself. I mean, I frantically reached out, you know, but I mean, I was hours late. But that's exactly what happened. He left the world of YouTube as he used to do it. That's what he said he wanted to do, and he did. He left that world of YouTube, and he went over to doing other stuff. But he still had conflicts with others that I don't know anything about. And, you know, he's about the same age as my daughter, my son. I mean, I just felt bad for him. He was so honest, he could not possibly be lying, you know? And so we had an agreement drawn up, and I think, well, you know, I think he should pay the legal fees. He didn't have any money. He seemed like he was telling us, well, he should pay half. Didn't have any money, so I just said, all right, just really, you know, good luck to you. And that's what my son wanted as well, and he's the one that did it. I mean, I can't express what a tragedy it is. And again, he was somebody with a lot of struggles in his life that he was trying to get past. And this is the first time I ever spoke about this. I mean, I'm really sorry that it happened. But he was so honest with me, he had to be sincere. So because he was sincere, I felt I had to be back.
Thank you very much. I know that really is me.
So he gives the explanation as to what transpired with Apollo and their interactions. That's like his testimony as to what occurred.
On the spot and sort of...
Now, where is the Karl part? I think that's
trying to just get some clarity because your name on.
Streams about.
There, here we go.
I don't think there's a single person here that doesn't.
I give you credit. You've done your homework.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about sometimes. Not often. Sometimes I know what I'm doing.
Okay. I'm the only arcade gamer that he streams about. He arguably gets more views off me than anybody. He said what he said, and he said it constantly, and I don't care. I mean, I couldn't give him 10 seconds worth of credibility. Nothing. Zero. Especially if you knew his background the way that I knew it, you wouldn't want anything to do with the guy. Okay, but time went on, and eventually, without a single source, except a now deleted post on Reddit, now deleted post, was his only source.
Which, by the way, he has not elaborated on if he had more. Even after losing the lawsuit, even after not appealing his loss, we still don't know, because he claimed that there were other reasons as to why he thought that. He still hasn't, like, shown what those are, even in his response.
Where he blamed me for taking the life of another human being and for what I did to him. And I said, that's it. What kind of person am I, even to my family, if I would allow someone to do that unanswered? And so you address it and you try to resolve it. But when somebody thinks they're in a different place and they think there's nothing you can do about it and they think they can just laugh at you, you can either let them do that or you can pursue it. So we pursued it. The complaint...
It seems like it has a lot to do with video games, guys, right? I keep hearing Donkey Kong come up in this and Pac-Man.
He says nothing, not a single word about video games. Nothing. But he has gone online and has led you to believe that it has to do with the allegations. And it doesn't. Okay? And it's proceeding. But here's what bothers me. You're the guy pick on. He goes online. He does a video. He'll make between the money he gets from YouTube, based upon the views.
This is
an extremely high view for him, along with the sponsorship. He'll get about $30,000.
All right, we don't know how much money he's actually making on these videos. I don't necessarily know if I agree with this part, but he's about to get into what the actual shit that we want to talk about.
It's possible to get somebody in his room to lie for $30,000. It's not something we should do. But then you go on there and you say he's suing me again.
This is it. This is it. And he shows this in the video and doesn't really elaborate on it or say that like, oh, holy shit, this was a concerns notice 6 months ago.
He puts up nothing, no proof, anything that he's being sued again. Nothing. There is one complaint in there, and that's the original complaint. So when the attorney sends his attorney a letter and says, your client is fraudulently claiming that we filed a second and third lawsuit against him, you know, that is not right. It's called a letter of concern, okay? He starts a GoFundMe because the med boy is suing him again. He needs money. And you are so silly, you hear what he says, and you donate money without any knowledge or any background. And the GoFundMe is at $150,000.
Wait, is that... Hold on, did I hear that right? So you guys sent him a letter saying you're fraudulently claiming there's a second and third lawsuit, and his response to that was that he set up a GoFundMe after? So there was another interaction between your lawyer and his lawyer, but your lawyer said, if I heard that correctly, your lawyer said we're not suing you, and then he came out and said they're suing me? I need to hear that one more time. Hey, BBB.
So silly, you hear what he says, and you donate money without any knowledge or any background. And the GoFundMe is at $150,000. $30,000 for the video. You give him $180,000 based upon a lie. What do you want me to tell you? I don't have an answer. You can get a lot of people to do a lot of things for $180,000. And let's just pretend that you think that I...
Oh. Okay, so that comes after. Billy has clarified. He said that I'm explaining that we sent a letter asking why he's claiming a second lawsuit with the GoFundMe. Got it. Okay.
I should go to those social media knuckleheads and talk to them or explain it to them or give them a reality check. I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, I don't want nothing to do with those people. It's unbelievable to me that that many people are led in that direction. But I also got to tell you one more thing. The attorney told me, he says, every time somebody makes a statement, don't get upset. Remember, this is defamation. And every single statement.
Oh, shit! Yes!
And reproduces it, which is a lot. Every single one of them is a gift. In the end, it's a gift. Because
he's fucking right, dude. He's actually fucking spitting. Yeah, it is a gift every time someone gets it wrong, because that's more evidence that they were misled.
Wrong. He cannot possibly defend the fact that he said I took the life of a human being. And I'm not gonna let it go, no matter what.
God,
again, I think
the most painful part of all of this is from fucking 2023. The fucking complaint was in 2021. The GoFundMe was in 2022. And this shit didn't flip until it literally came out of the judge's mouth because the well was so far poisoned we weren't even engaging with the actual talking points. That's the real fucking injustice here. Regardless of whatever happens next, we were so fucking dramatically wrong about what Karl did, what Karl said, and about Billy,
On the premise that he urgently needs financial support for a potential second lawsuit. Karl, I do not accept the fact that you generally woke up 6 months after the last correspondence, and also after your financial support ran out from Notch, and you suddenly felt the need to crowdfund for a potential second lawsuit.
This is fair. Point number one, GoFundMe deception. This is fair. And I haven't seen it explained like this to me by any of the other YouTubers who've covered it. Yeah, this seems like a fucking fair criticism to make.
You obviously knew the second...
And I think that Karl, before he does fucking anything, releases any more videos about, like, video games and shit, needs to Mudahar back for a minute and engage with this.
lawsuit was not coming. Or at the very least, you were unsure if it ever was. You created a GoFundMe campaign with the knowledge...
And he covered his ass there and said you were unsure if it was ever coming. Because that's another thing. Yeah, it took a long while, and it could have came in the future, but... you seem to have waited to make a YouTube video to defend yourself until after it was filed the first time. So it seems like that was an indicator. Like, he didn't make a video claiming that he was being sued before, did he? I'm not knowledgeable about that. I'm pretty sure he waited until it was filed to make that first video. And Karl posted a new video today. I did see that, yeah.
Intent to fund the existing lawsuit on false premises.
Back when I was covering the story, Billy's friend Triforce would keep telling me I'd be shocked when the outcome of this case came out, and he wasn't wrong. We were all very shocked. Dude, Triforce took a bunch of shit from Karl, too. I remember that. Like, Triforce was like a fucking meme.
Period. End of paragraph. With that said, I feel it is important to address Mr. Jobs' principal argument against all this. His argument is that he opened the GoFundMe campaign because my lawyers told him that I provided instructions to commence a second lawsuit. His position is, if Billy lawyers said so, then why should I not believe them? Here's the clip of him saying that.
Then in 2022, Billy sent me a third concerns notice because of a video I released in April regarding one of Billy's witnesses.
Wait, what?
Concerns notice. Then in 2022, Billy sent me a third concerns notice because of a video I released in April regarding...
I got a question. Why does he just say 2022 and not give the month and then specify a month immediately after? Listen to the way that he speaks here.
Here's the clip of him saying that.
Then in 2022, Billy sent me a third concerns notice because of a video I released in April regarding one of Billy's witnesses accusing him of extortion.
That doesn't sound right. It just sounds weird.
And he followed that up with another lawsuit, of which he sent to my lawyers and told them he was going to file it against me. And then he sent me a fourth concerns notice, saying he intended to sue me because I put a 10-second AVGN meme in a video completely unrelated to Billy. Billy was now threatening me with 3 simultaneous lawsuits. The first one had already cost $200,000 in the first year alone. So if Billy filed the second and third lawsuits, there was no way I could afford to defend myself.
Here's the problem. Mr. Jobs testified under oath at trial, quote, "I don't believe anything Billy Mitchell says," end of quote. So apparently the only time Mr. Jobs ever believes me is after 6 months pass without follow-up, and he stands to gain $200,000 from his audience. In my opinion, the irony of Mr. Jobs' behavior here is that this misleading and disingenuous behavior is the exact type of behavior that he attacks people for in his videos. And the harsh reality is he uses these tactics on most subject matters, not just this one.
Because, the trickle-down cheating is starting to... the trickle-down cheating thing, right? Where the cheater says, oh, I did this, but I didn't do those. And it's like, oh, I did those, but this was still real. And it's like, oh, everything was fake. Karl is like unraveling, right? We're finding out like, oh, this is something that happened, but let's be clear here. It was always about XYZ. Q happened, but, and then like now as this continues to expand and expand and our understanding grows and grows and grows, Karl just continues to look worse and worse. It's just unraveling the same way that like the people he makes videos on seem to also unravel.
Based upon Mr. Jobs' I lost video, it appears that he plans to dispute the factual findings of the judgment. And based upon his Discord messages, It appears that he's planning a broader revenge campaign against not only me, but my family, my hot sauce company. Here's what I'll say of that with the information available to me today. It's very easy for a YouTuber to create a self-serving video with an unopposed narrative shaped by them.
You know what's funny? Imagine if Karl goes after the hot sauce company for like the Twitter shit where he's posting like code Karl or Karl. I think was there ever a code Karl Jobst or something? I don't know. If he goes after that, like the way they use his face and like the hot sauce stuff and the Karl lost meme and shit like that. He had stated that he thought that like Billy, I don't know, a lot of people on his behalf, I don't know if he himself specifically said this, were saying that like, I think that Billy Mitchell wanted to sue Karl over the cheating allegations, but he couldn't. So he sued him over the Apollo Legend thing. And that was the cope justification in a lot of people's minds. I think that those people will have a hard time believing, or they would have a hard time with the fact that like Karl, in my opinion, would be suing Billy about the hot sauce stuff in retaliation for losing the lawsuit. If he ever moved forward with something like that, I would think it's like, oh, okay, because he wanted to get Billy in the defamation suit that he'd been making content on, but he couldn't. So he's now filing another lawsuit to try to get the win, unironically becoming the Billy Mitchell that he's tried to portray onto the internet for the last couple of years. I think Karl needs to stand down and not do any lawfare after this. That would be fucking crazy if he plans to do that.
It is not easy to present those arguments.
If he goes after Ricky's, Karl will never recover. That would be an insane misstep to target Ricky's.
In a court of law, where the other side can argue back and win. Remember, Mr. Jobst already received his opportunity to argue anything and everything that he claimed in his I Lost video, or may claim in a future video. Remember that despite all these allegations that he hurls with inflammatory languages, it is ultimately him who the court found to not be a credible witness.
True.
Let's review an example of this in his I Lost video. He says this.
I will say one thing though, is the judge found Billy Mitchell to be a credible witness, and essentially accepted his full oral testimony as fact, despite our many attempts to show that Billy is a liar. For example, we have Billy on video in 2023 during his Twin Galaxies deposition saying that the effect I've had on him is minimal.
Did the actions that Karl Jobst and David Race and Jeremy Young and Jeff Harris take also cause you emotional distress?
That is minimal compared to this. At that moment in my deposition, I was discussing the allegations related to video games, not Apollo Legend. The questioner listed a series of individuals.
Jobst and David Race and Jeremy Young and Jeff Harris take also cause you emotional distress?
That is minimal compared to this.
So if he's talking specifically, okay, that would make sense.
At that moment in my deposition, I was discussing the allegations related to video games, not Apollo Legend. The questioner...
Yeah, it depends on the context of the conversation.
...listed a series of individuals in lawsuits with me that all related to video games in one way or another, either in the complaint, in the defense, or as a broader background text. All while sitting in a deposition for a Twin Galaxies lawsuit. Then, when the questioner asked why, I said because this is where it all began. Because my answer related specifically to Twin Galaxies and video games. Mr. Jobst will likely respond by playing a segment of my deposition. I'll play it here and then discuss.
What about Karl Jobst? Why are you suing him?
Karl Jobst has nothing to do with video games. He's being sued because he's blaming the death of an individual.
Oh! There's another example that should have been seen.
Nicholas, the goat. Thank you for the $5.
Fuck, dude. I just feel dumber every time I play another clip of Billy from fucking 3, 4 years, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. Holy shit, he just said it again. He just said it again.
Legend on me.
You're suing him for defamation for making that claim?
Has nothing to do with
Why would Karl feel confident enough to make a fucking video about this?
These two clips of my deposition were two entirely different lines of questioning that occurred hours apart. In the first clip, my answer related to multiple individuals across lawsuits connected to video games in one way or another, including Mr. Jobst, but not only Mr. Jobst. In the second clip, my answers concern specifically Mr. Jobst and the amputations in my complaint against him. Context is everything.
So what's Karl going to say? Well, you can't have it both ways, Billy. You're either going to sue me for video games or you're not going to sue me for video games. The only lawsuit that was on record was the one about Apollo Legend. And if you had no intention of suing me another time, why did you answer that way in the deposition? I feel like that's what Karl is going to say. Yeah.
What does Mr. Jobst
Nicholas,
not do in his
goat.
I Lost
Thank you
video?
for the $5, my
He
man.
doesn't present any opposing argument to his narrative. Despite hearing my explanation, my deposition testimony at the trial, and despite reading the judgment's reasoning for accepting my testimony on this issue, he just omits everything and presents his position as fact. This tactic of omitting inconvenient information to his desired narrative is common in Mr. Jobs' videos generally, not just the videos about.
The one thing that I'll never take away from Karl, as from Billy, is that he's very good at shaping a narrative regardless of the fact set that he's dealing with. But again, Billy, you're only as good as your audience will allow you to be. I think that if a compelling video essay was made that explained this all and showed the clips of you talking and showed the original clip of Karl, I think a video essay could have easily had swayed. I've seen this happen 100 times. It usually doesn't take a judge to make a fucking statement on your behalf for people to realize what's wrong here. Nobody investigated this. Nobody did their due diligence in finding out why this guy was even getting sued in the first place.
Me, all of his videos. Here's an example from his I Lost video.
To be clear though, I never said Billy caused Apollo's suicide, nor have I ever believed that. No one is responsible for Apollo's decision.
I prefer post-judgment carnage in hindsight though. Yeah, I mean I guess by nobody figuring this out sooner, it left you in a position to quite literally bankrupt him, so.
Other than Apollo.
That is a very clear statement from Karl there. He never believed that.
Let me read that one. Let me hear that one more time.
To be clear though, I never said Billy caused Apollo's suicide, nor have I ever believed that. No,
you just heavily implicated it in your video.
Is
and if you're saying you wait, hold on, wait.
Never said Billy caused Apollo's suicide, nor have I ever believed that.
Then why would you implicate something like that if you never believed it?
No one is responsible for Apollo's decision other than Apollo.
That is a very.
Because you're saying responsible for, but when you say heavily contributed to, I mean, I think that those are almost tantamount, right? If you're implying that he contributed to the death, rather, let me go back and see exactly what he said, just for context, hearing that back to back. The implication is really there, but I want to hear the exact wording.
When Billy was all too much of a burden, and he ultimately took his own life. But this lawsuit ultimately ended with Apollo giving in and settling with Mitchell. He was forced to remove all of his videos about Mitchell's cheating and paid him a large sum of money. This left him deeply in debt, which required him to find extra work. But with his ongoing health issues, this was all too much of a burden.
What am I supposed to draw from this other than you saying that you think Billy Mitchell is responsible for the suicide? What he says in the other clip is I've never verbalized it and I never believed it, but I don't think that second part is true.
And he ultimately took his own life. Not that Billy Mitchell would ever care though. In fact, when Billy Mitchell thought Apollo died earlier, he expressed joy at the thought. The lawsuit against Apollo was just as frivolous as the rest, and Apollo definitely would have won in court, but again, he was extremely ill and couldn't handle the ongoing stress.
Yeah. Ill and couldn't handle the stress does not say dude, hear that part and then listen to this part.
Is responsible for Apollo's decision other than Apollo. To be clear though, I never said Billy caused Apollo's suicide, nor have I ever believed that.
That first part is correct, but by technicality. That second part, I think that you thought that Billy contributed heavily to Apollo's suicide based off of that. Based off of the clip that you removed from your video.
No one is responsible for Apollo's decision other than Apollo.
That is a very clear statement from Karl there. He never believed that anyone was responsible for Apollo's decision except Apollo. Well, let me show you in an exchange that occurred between my barrister and Mr. Jobst while he was on the witness stand at trial.
Oh no.
Here, Mr. Jobst is saying to the court, to the judge, that he did in fact believe that I was a factor in Apollo Legends' decisions. And before you ask, yes, Mr. Jobst said this while under oath.
Oh,
you can make up your own mind.
Oh my god. Holy shit. What a drop, dude. Hold on. Wait. Whoa. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me... Fuck, dude.
And Apollo Legends' decisions. And before you ask, yes, Mr. Jobst said this while under oath.
Let me get a screenshot of this so I can better read it.
You can make up your own mind, but it appears to me that Karl either lied directly...
Wait, I got one. I need the other now.
...to his... Yes, and
Alright, let me get this one first.
Apollo Legends' decisions. And before you ask, yes, Mr. Jobst said this while...
Alright, so it starts on the 10. Okay, so this is it. This is what we got here to read. Okay, alright. Now you could say that you have your opinion regarding the impact of the settlement. Okay, alright. Now, you say that you have your opinion regarding the impact of the settlement on Apollo's decision? I said that, yes. You said that. Do you mean that, in your opinion, Mr. Mitchell was a contributing factor to Mr. Smith's suicide? Is that your opinion that you're referring to there? That I'm referring to there? Yeah, I don't know what my opinion was at the time exactly. I'm sorry. Sorry was what? I missed it? Mumbled away. I don't, because my opinion sort of has changed over time. As you know, it has been a few years. Do you want me to play that? Do you want me to play that part again? No, refresh your memory. No, the words that I said, right? Okay, yes, right. So your opinion regarding the impact of the settlement? Yes. On Apollo's decision. What was your opinion regarding the impact of the settlement on Apollo's decision? I believe that the settlement terms had some impact. I don't know what the impact was specifically, but I believe that it had some impact on his life. On impact of him taking his own life? I believe that it would have had some impact, yes. But you say on Apollo's decision, that the decision to take his own life, that's the decision to take his own life, isn't it? That is correct. Yeah, so you accept that your opinion that you're referring to there was that,
Nicholas, the GOAT. Thank you for the $5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you accept that your opinion that you're referring to there was the settlement impacted Apollo's decision to take his own life? Yes, I believe that it may have. Yes.
Nicholas!
Holy shit, dude.
My man.
That's unreal. And we've got more.
Karl either lied directly to his fans about this, or he lied to the court under oath. Third example.
Wait, Billy, we're not done collecting the previous W here. So you think that the settlement through some financial means impacted Apollo's decision to take his own life? I wouldn't necessarily say the settlement terms flows on. All right, well let's go back a step then. The settlement terms was what? What required Mr. Smith to remove his videos about Mr. Mitchell, isn't it? That was one of the terms? That is correct. You're aware of that? Yes. Okay, so you're saying, because I'm just trying to understand what you're saying here, is because Apollo Legend had to pull those videos off, he suffered a loss of revenue. That's fair, isn't it? Yes, that is fair. With what you're saying, yes. Okay, and because of that drop in revenue, that had a negative financial impact upon Mr. Smith. That's what you were saying there? That is correct. Okay, what I'm asking you then is that part of your opinion that you talked about in your reaction video a factor that impacted Apollo's decision? A portion of it, yes. Alright, it's part is accurate, correct? Yes. Do you still maintain that opinion? Yes. Do you still maintain the opinion that despite the fact that Apollo's own words, he didn't blame Mr. Mitchell? Is that right? Yes. And do you say that you hold this opinion despite the fact that we've seen earlier that Mr. Smith was taking down other videos that didn't relate to Mr. Mitchell? Is that right? Yes. And despite the fact that Apollo's own family have said to you, there is no obligation upon Apollo Legend to pay any money to Mr. Mitchell. Is that right? That is correct. You think you just know better? I just had my opinion. Holy fuck, dude. Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck, bro? Holy shit. That's crazy. So I guess the only thing that Karl could really argue here is that he's talking about removal of videos. But even then, his claim wasn't about removal of videos. It was that there was a substantial payment that was made. So I wouldn't necessarily place that there. And there's no evidence to support that. Because Karl's argument about removal of videos is flawed. He's saying that, like, he had to remove these videos and they were high performers. How much money would Apollo Legend be making on, like, old videos? Videos sit in the algorithm for an extended period of time, and some of them can earn revenue, sure, but you're not making a substantial amount of money of already published videos. In some cases, years later, right? That's not like his money wasn't destroyed because a video that already got all of its views had to go down, where he'd already profited the significant amount of money he would make from it, right?
Or he lied to the court under oath. Third example. When I settled my lawsuit with Twin Galaxies in January 2024, Twin Galaxies and Mr. Jobst jointly circulated a claim that I remained banned from Twin Galaxies competition. That is a lie. Here is the relevant clause to the settlement agreement with Twin Galaxies. Twin Galaxies will work to include any future score submissions by Mitchell to Twin Galaxies leaderboard, with such submissions having to go through the normal Twin Galaxies adjudication process. So what Twin Galaxies and Mr. Jobst claimed was that even though Twin Galaxies said it would permit future score submissions from me, I remain banned from the Twin Galaxies competition.
I do remember he did say that. He said that Billy Mitchell really lost this lawsuit because his lawyer is so stupid, he didn't realize that Billy Mitchell's scores are still not... Well, the scores weren't put back up on the actual one. It's on the legacy board.
Nicholas!
That just doesn't
the
make
goat.
any sense.
Thank you for the $5.
As a result of these claims,
Thank you for hitting the goal.
I filed a motion to enforce settlement agreement on Twin Galaxies on May 30th, 2024. The court ruled in my favor.
What?
Nicholas! The goat. Thank you for the $5, my man.
And the judge directly addressed this claim by Twin Galaxies as false. Here's what the judge said.
Wait, when did this happen?
I think it's a fair assumption that the intention was to at least allow for the possibility of the plaintiff to submit his scores. To me, this implies that he was not banned. In my opinion, the claim that I remained banned from Twin Galaxies competition was a coordinated effort by Mr. Jobst.
That's from the Courthouse News Service article. Jesus, I didn't even know this happened.
And Twin Galaxies to spread misinformation. These are just very, very dishonest people. But with that said, I will not be submitting any scores to Twin Galaxies because it has no authority. It has no purpose. At this point, Twin Galaxies is only relevant for its history. Today, Twin Galaxies has no physical place of business. It has no office. It has no in-person competition, no employees, no referees, no industry experts. In fact, Twin Galaxies today is one guy with no industry experience that runs a website from his apartment.
What?
He stands on nothing but the hard work and achievement.
Wait, I thought that Twin Galaxies was just like a huge... Like, wasn't this like a huge gaming organization? It's just some guy in his house? This guy living at... Like, wait, what?
Of those who came before
Wait, when the... What?
him.
Twin Galaxies is just some dude? He's not even two of them? Motherfuckers be calling them Twin Galaxies and they just be one guy?
And thinks money
It is now. Oh.
can buy him
Now it is. Got it.
credibility.
Dude, where did the other twin go? Billy, what? Wait, Billy fucking settled the lawsuit, and now the other twin evaporated.
Next.
It was a huge organization. It's a shadow of its former self. Jesus. Dude, the whole galaxy evaporated. I guess that makes Billy the video game fucking player of the galaxy. What the fuck?
Jobs and Twin Galaxy stated many times over the years that this photo shows a rule violation on one of my Donkey Kong World Records because the joystick was red.
Wait, we're addressing the red joystick now. Holy shit.
That's not true. The joystick was compliant with the rules. In 2007, there was no written rules for competitive Donkey Kong. However, the general rule for all games was to use the original machine with a manufacturer's hardware or hardware that constitutes a like-for-like exchange.
The problem with the red joystick, to my knowledge, is like that people thought it was an 8-way joystick. That the black one is the 4-way joystick, right? That's the way the game is traditionally played. Am I wrong about that? This has been a long time since I've talked about this story.
Was to use the original machine with a manufacturer's hardware or hardware that constitutes a like-for-like exchange. A like-for-like exchange is a functional equivalent. For example, in this case,
it allows for 2 inputs instead of 1. Got it.
If a 4-way joystick installed by the manufacturer broke, you may install and use a different 4-way joystick. That is why the joystick was compliant with the rules.
Shit.
The reason for the rule was that arcade video game manufacturers stopped producing parts in the 1980s.
For older games, yeah.
No arcade machine on this earth at that time for any game had each and every part from the manufacturer. Nobody's scores would have been valid for that rule. Nobody.
So he's saying that the red joystick is still a 4-way joystick, so it would be compliant with the rules of that time. That's something that Karl would absolutely have to address in any future video talking about this.
In fact, even today, Donkey Kong World Records occur with non-original hardware inside the control panel based upon a like-for-like exchange rule, both the joystick and the buttons. Mr. Job also levies the claim that the joystick was an 8-way joystick, not a 4-way joystick.
Okay, got it, got it.
I don't think he understands how the arcade machine joysticks work. Any joystick
can be a 4 or 8-way depending on the thing that they use under it, right? Because people have been modifying the stupid arcade 1-ups that I have, because some of them have like 4 or 8-way joysticks. I think
I just saw Keffel's
and it's literally just the
Nicholas
attachment that goes under the machine that allows it to
appreciated
go to
the
certain
shout-out.
inputs.
TBH, most people use emulators and separate joysticks to break records. I think it's silly that they slandered Billy for being ahead of the game.
any number of ways based upon how it is installed. It doesn't matter who the manufacturer.
Well, the reason why they singled Billy out in particular, just to be fair, is that the MAME loading screen thing came up upon previous record runs, right? Like the way that you loaded in Donkey Kong came up. Now, again, I'm not an expert in video games, but that seemed to be a major point in contention as to why they were hunting all of his other scores.
Manufacturer of the joystick is.
How good is Billy at pinball? I don't know. If he has a big party, I would love to play some with him.
It doesn't matter what the manual says. It all depends on the restrictor plates inside of the arcade machine, which are not visible.
Yeah, the restrictor plates. Yep.
Visible.
Because when I think one of the arcade 1-ups launched with an 8-way joystick when it was supposed to be a 4-way joystick, and their solution was to send out the plate that goes on the bottom, and that would restrict like which motion could actually occur
From the outside. In this instance, it was a 4-way joystick. On a separate note, if Mr. Jobs' joystick claim was true, then both him and Twin Galaxies would have walked into court, would have shown the photo, and won their case.
And that's kind of the implication that I got from the video, is like, Billy's cooked here. He cannot possibly get out of this one. And then it just never came up again.
Instead, neither Mr. Jobs nor Twin Galaxies ever attempted to use this photo at any point in the trial or even in preparation. Despite the claim from Mr. Jobs that this photo was some kind of a smoking gun, his decision not to use it speaks volumes. Even in his I lost
I just saw
video,
Keffel's tweet.
Carl makes a claim
Nicholas DeOrio.
that I'm a proven
Keffels
cheater,
appreciated the shout out.
and that I've seen commentary from around the internet for years.
If Billy's suing all these people over video games and shit like this, why is there no court ruling on the most important shit that they're showing? Right? That's a big question to ask. And it's like, well, the defense for that is none of these people have money. None of these people have money. I don't know, dude. There were 2 big lawsuits, one about video games and one involving Karl Jobst that wasn't about video games. I didn't see this stuff come up.
Now where people...
Like, did Twin Galaxies submit the red joystick for anything? I mean, they're literally suing him about cheating. I feel like that would be like something that I'd be able to look up, right?
claim that there's no doubt. It's obvious. It's been proved. Well, I ask you to consider this. Twin Galaxies had the opportunity to prove in court.
I didn't know joysticks were so controversial. It's not the red joystick inherently. It's that you have to get these records on original hardware. Hold on, wait. That was... Dude. Hold on, dude. Because that's like what he said in his video, right? It was like, it's like, uh-oh, silly bitchel, you've been caught red-handed. The joystick being red means it is not the original hardware, and you were playing on a modified machine. The reason why you use original hardware is to have the 4-way joystick, but an 8-way joystick would give you an opportunity to have 2 inputs, or what, I don't know, dude. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, if it's not an original hardware, the implication was that he'd cheated, because that would be the requirement to film that, right? And that picture was supposed to be like the smoking gun or whatever, because it shows it wasn't original hardware. Now, if Billy is correct, and you could just substitute a like or equal part, and then that would be a totally like cool thing to do, which makes sense. His explanation makes sense, as these are like deteriorating machines from the 80s that aren't in circulation or production anymore, for the most part, for many of these arcade games. It would make sense that like you can't expect every single person who'd be hosting an event like this to have access to Nintendo parts that they haven't made for decades, or they would have to get like a suitable comparable replacement. To be fair, no one is showing proof. Who cares? Well, the reason why it matters is because that fucking red joystick photo has been going around for like years, saying it's definitive proof that he cheated. So yeah, it does kind of matter. If that joystick is a 4-way joystick and not an 8-way joystick, then I don't really see the issue with it. Especially if what Billy is saying is true. Now, again, this is such an iconic photo that it's the photo I used in my shadow box when I made the fucking meme Billy Mitchell shrine. All the way, like, in the fucking arcade. That's the same photo. I was like, oh, it's hilarious. The red joystick will be visible. Or it proves he cheated. Like, I fell for it if that's the case. If everything Billy is saying is true, I literally fell for this. So I do think it is significant, considering it got me.
That I cheated.
Sorry for ruining your shrine. Well, Billy, the best part is, Billy, that now it's gone from ironic to unironic, and it still fits. Because it's not like it literally says Billy Mitchell, video game player of the century, dude. It turns out it's real.
Karl Jobst, who was told by a billionaire, Notch, that he'd pay for the best legal representation possible, did not even try to prove that I cheated. If it's obvious, that's certain, so easily provable, why does the claim suddenly fall apart as soon as it's taken out of the court of public opinion and into the actual court of law, where I have the right to reply and where real evidence is given by real people who swear under oath to tell the truth? And regardless, Twin Galaxies, what kind of defendant spends hundreds of thousands of dollars, even over $1 million according to his lawyer, litigating a case for 4 years to settle 3 months before trial? A defendant that expects to lose.
Yeah, or somebody who ran out of money. But again, you'd have to, like, the money doesn't just go away all in one day, right? You made it this far, why settle, like, right at the fucking end of it?
Lastly,
and again, they settled, and what did Karl do? What did Karl do as soon as they settled the lawsuit? Dude, you gotta see the title of this. This title is so funny, because it is a settlement, right? They settled out of court right before it went to trial. Where is it? response to it was like, hold on. It's so funny. Yeah, look, he called the video, cheater Billy Mitchell just lost a huge lawsuit.
That it doesn't matter. Hello, you absolute legends. In April of 2021, video game cheater of the century Billy Mitchell sued David Race for $100,000. And while most people know that Billy likes to sue people when his feelings get hurt when they say something he doesn't like on the internet, this particular lawsuit is very different. It's still ridiculous.
Oh, that's a different case. Wrong one. What was the other one he did? Because it was a lost lawsuit thing. Yeah, you're right.
That it does.
Was that the one that wasn't filed in like the correct state or something? There's so many fucking lawsuit things. Hold on. Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell lost his lawsuit.
Hello, you absolute legends. In April of 2018, Billy Mitchell...
Yeah, the Billy lawsuit against Twin Galaxies has come to an end. Billy Mitchell lost his lawsuit. They settled.
Self-proclaimed video game player of the century, was banned from Twin Galaxies after it was discovered that he had cheated multiple Donkey Kong World records. Twin Galaxies would post their decision in a public statement, saying that the tapes of Billy's world record show gameplay that could not come from an original, unmodified arcade cabinet.
Like, it just comes off as cope. Because I don't know.
Recently learned that Mr. Jobst plans to engage in a revenge campaign on YouTube by creating videos about me, my family, and my hot sauce company. Imagine that, my family. It seems that the discount code Karl lost deeply bothers him. On May 5th, 2025, at 3:02 a.m., Mr. Jobst wrote on Discord, "There are two videos that need to be made. One talking about the hot sauce company, one talking about how Billy needs to stand on things to make himself look taller."
So he's making a hot sauce company video? Or he was thinking of doing it? That's such a weird angle to take. It's like, guys, I might have lost this lawsuit after 4 years of obfuscating why it was happening in the first place. But we really need to talk about Ricky's hot sauce.
In photos.
He never went after his family? What are you talking about? There's a message that went out from Karl where it literally says, after this is over, I could go after his son. I could have sworn that exists. Billy, I'm gonna check your thing for it. Yeah, he literally said he was going to. There's so many tweets here. There's so many Discord messages. Karl, Billy Mitchell, Karl son. Maybe I'll hit a Hail Mary. Hail Mary achieved. He is very dumb and under the thumb of his psycho son. If he thinks he has a chance because he's too dumb to realize otherwise, his son tells him he will win. He will find out though. Trust me. Okay, that's not the one. I could have sworn there was another one. Oh, so he's coming after the son saying, I'll do a video on Billy's son after they lose. So after the Billy Mitchell money ran dry, he was going to start making a video on his fucking kid. Yeah, I mean, like, this is going to piss anyone off who's reading this.
Karl, I'm 6'6". I don't need to do anything to look taller. I've taken thousands of photos.
Jesus Christ, dude!
Of different types with fans since 1982. Some very serious, some nothing but fun. Meanwhile, you're 5'7".
What? Oh my god! Holy shit, dude! No way!
Cope harder.
Oh, Billy Mitchell just said cope harder. I'm fucking done, dude. I'm fucking done. Holy shit! This is part 1 of 2. When is part 2 coming out? I need to watch this.
Try not to stretch the truth. As for Mr. Jobs' plan to attack my hot sauce company, I don't know what he could possibly claim. I'm interested to know what could possibly lead Mr. Jobs to believe that he knows the financials or the operational framework of a private company. It reminds me of a time
where he claimed to know the terms of
the completionist,
a confidential settlement agreement back in 2020.
Oh, damn, I got it wrong. So he's talking about the fucking lawsuit. When he's talking about the Apollo Legend lawsuit. Fuck, I thought it was gonna be the completionist.
The terms of a confidential settlement agreement.
Is this really lolly?
Of course, that's why we're all here.
Billy Mitchell flash sale, rickysauce.com. Discount code Nick for 15% off. Sale ends in 48 hours. Jesus Christ, Billy.
That's all for today.
Billy, you have mod. You can link it. You got my permission.
But don't forget to buy Ricky's world famous sauce, 10% off at rickysauce.com.
15% off for 48 hours. Jesus.
Using the discount code Karl Lost at the checkout. Thank you for watching to the end.
If you want the 15, you gotta use my name. Holy shit, that's funny. That's fucking funny. Explanation: in July 2022, Jobst filed an application to the court to order me to pay securities for costs in the litigation. Securities for costs effectively collateral for a potential order to pay the opposing party's legal costs in the event that the court enters such an order. To be clear, the funds are held by the litigant's law firm and not paid to the opposing party. In Queensland, Australia, for litigating a litigant residing outside of Australia and without property in Australia may be ordered to pay securities costs to provide a good faith gesture that the party can and will pay the opposing party's legal costs in the event that the litigant loses the case. In November 2021, Mr. Jobst requested that I provide securities costs for the litigation. I agreed and proposed $50,000. Jobst agreed with this amount. However, in June 2022, Jobst asked for an additional $50,000. No facts or circumstances changed in the case to justify this request. I viewed the request as entirely bad faith and refused. In my view, Jobst was clearly hoping that I could not pay the additional $50,000, and he then filed to dismiss the case on the basis of failure to pay, or at the very least, he hoped to up more money so I couldn't use it to pay my lawyers. I had the money either way, but I refused to comply with a request that I viewed as malicious. In July of 2022, Mr. Jobst filed an application to the court in order to make me pay an additional $50,000 in securities for costs. I opposed the application entirely. The court was very critical of Mr. Jobst's counsel, and at the hearing, my lawyer expected that the court would not require me to pay an additional fund for securities. Ultimately, the court ordered me to pay an additional $15,000. I paid, and the case proceeded. You all know how it ended. Okay, got it. That's funny. Holy shit. Yeah, I think that was a very strong video. I think Karl's going to have a bit of trouble responding to that. A bit of trouble seems like an understatement. But, holy shit, dude. I can't wait for part 2. I can't wait for any response from Karl. Until then, all we've got is Karl Dwarfist, the 5'7" porn addict, has responded to my video by claiming he's 5'9".
Nicholas, the goat. Thank you for the $5, my man.
Oh god, dude. Even in his intro on his Discord on October 14th, he exaggerates that he is 5'8.5, and today needs to round that up half an inch. Age 31, height 174 centimeters. Weight 78 kilograms. Short-term goals. I'm 5'9", it's just projection. He stands on objects to make himself look taller. He has major insecurities about height, not sure why. Dude, you fucking mauled him, and then discount code COPE for 10% off. This is brutal. Holy shit. A statement from Billy Mitchell, part 1. So this is what they said on the completionist subreddit. I will check the I'll pull up the Yeet tweet after. I just want to finish this segment. Use Karl Lost, the discount code is next level salt rub. If there's anything this man knows, it's how to do well in marketing gimmicks. Karl said he'd gloat endlessly over it. It's only fair if Billy does it to him now. Let's see the responses here. Billy deserves no wins in this life. Dude is a cheat, plain and simple. I'm so like, you can't cope this hard. He fucking won. He's got shit to show for it. The judge ruling is legitimate. Karl is not appealing. And I can clearly see why. It doesn't matter what else Billy has done in his entire fucking life. Yeah, he won on this 100%, and he deserves to fucking gloat about it. Especially with how much shit that Karl talked. Karl said, I would not be a good winner. Well, you know what? Billy hasn't been a good winner either, and it's justified. You can't argue it. Is it just 25 minutes of laughing? Oh, God. Billy, I don't know if this will ever happen. There's one person I want to see you talk to in a conversation. Imagine a convo with Billy Mitchell and Mr. Medicare. Holy shit, would that be fucking Kino? That would be fucking crazy.
Can I say something to you, Nick?
I would
really like
love
Why?
for Billy Mitchell to chat with fucking... Yeah, he also said he'd go after Billy's son. Billy's justified in this for however... Yeah, exactly. But, dude, imagine Mr. Medicare chatting with Billy to go over this. That would be crazy.
What's the name of the guy? Keemstar Orbiter. Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
Holy shit. It's like, he's gonna yap about this only W till the end of time, isn't he? Jesus, he's even more insufferable now. Thanks, Karl. I mean, if some guy who I was in a lawsuit with had told everyone he was never letting it go and he wanted to destroy my family if he won, I'd be a little salty too. Yeah, there were some points where I started to wonder what was about to happen to Karl is really, you know, proportionate to what he did, but then that leak came out and I was like, oh yeah, lethal, okay, Jesus. Holy fuck. I don't know much about him. He's just kind of a internet old head. I think he's fairly good in situations like this. I don't know what kind of questions he would ask, but I think he would have a fun time laughing with you. Nick, I may need to do a sponsorship with you in the future. There's a lot of orders. Clearly your audience likes hot sauce. Oh God. I think, you'd have to send it to my people. I don't know if I could necessarily do that. I've turned down... Why not turn down? I'm in the limbo right now. If I say this, I'll get in trouble. Fucking Dan Saltman wants to sponsor me on Redact. And it's like, I used Redact and I liked Redact, but I don't really think I can take money from Dan Saltman, especially after all of this. So I don't think I can necessarily do that. I don't know if I could take the... Like, I have no problem with promoting Ricky's. I just don't know how optically that would look. I would have to think about it, despite the fact that, like, obviously, I have zero issues with the product. I think the hot sauce is different. Listen, I have no problem with promoting Ricky's hot sauce. I think it's fucking... I think this is hilarious, to be honest. I mean, I've been shilling it for free.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
I gotta think about it. According to that video, Karl's planning to make videos about his hot sauce company and Billy is standing on things to look taller. He's 6'6". Could Karl become any more insufferable? Just take the L and leave? Yeah, holy shit, dude. Well, according to him, he also won against Twin Galaxies, and so far it seems his record were re-added there. He's not banned from submitting any new records. Even if the original record is fraud, he can still run his record, and he repeated that feat like 4 years ago. He did not win against Twin Galaxies. The thing is, his records are still not on the main leaderboard. They are tucked away in a legacy section. It's just repeating the Karl talking points. What do we got here? Billy Mitchell releases a statement. This is the YouTube drama people. I feel like these guys hate Karl though, too, specifically. Like, they never liked him before this. If Karl releases a video in response and says that's a lie, just remember he did the exact same thing when he showed a clip of Billy clarifying that the lawsuit was about... Oh, fuck, dude, that's true. So he pulled up that clip that we saw before, right before he added something onto his GoFundMe. And yeah, he literally showed that and then fucking said it's all a lie and said it's all about video game. Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking... 50 is for hot sauce, 20 is for you base. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is not saying that Billy is now the arbiter of truth, but we actually have to scrutinize what's on both sides. True.
Hot sauce, $20 for you.
Hell yeah, thank you. Karl's biggest defender is in every one of his accusation videos to paint people as compulsive liars so he can brush away any of it. I mean, that's a good strategy. If you can prove to an audience enough that someone is a compulsive liar, you have like endless freedom to lie about them. Imagine fumbling so hard you make Billy Mitchell the good guy. Well, that's part of this is like a fucking fundamental part of why people fuck up YouTube dramas, is they start to believe their own hype. They call somebody out, and then they escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate and escalate to the point where the audience is just completely going to just go ahead and believe any singular thing that is said. And then at that point, right, you're like, you can get caught hard, and the second it goes the other way, everything you ever said is basically a lie. And people feel cheated because they kind of were. Thank you, Billy. I will add Luxembourg now. What is that? All right, let's take a look at this. What we got here? Oh no, dude. Oh no, bro. Holy shit. Oh, the country? Oh, where you could actually purchase it from?
Hey guys, in this video I'm going to tell you why most men will never approach women.
Why are there so many of these, dude? Why are there so many of these? Oh god.
Now, the answer might be a little bit different to what you normally hear, but I really think understanding this one key principle...
A lot of the older ones, he looks way younger. He doesn't really look that much younger in this video.
Could be the most important thing you need.
Hi, I'm Karl, you absolute legends. As you can see, I am very smart and I have several books behind me. Therefore, I can tell you exactly how to be successful with women.
You need to understand if you really want to overcome your approach anxiety. Now, what do most men think is the problem? When I ask men, why aren't you approaching women, they'll normally give one of two answers. So one is, I don't have enough confidence. And the second is, I'm feeling too much anxiety. Now, I'd basically teach that confidence is the lack of anxiety. So if you're not feeling any anxiety, you're feeling confident. If you're feeling confident, you're not feeling anxiety. So those two answers are essentially the same thing, right? Now, I just want to say that that answer is actually flat out wrong. And second of all, the answer...
That's funny. Yeah, it's a fucking 9-minute picking up chicks video. And then also, to end it off, dude, Augie RFC. Fucking... Augie RFC says the hot sauce, Ricky's hot sauce is the official hot sauce of RFC. And they showed him cooking with it. That's so fucking funny, dude. Dude, Augie told me a story one time. He goes to that convention that... What's the convention Boogie goes to every year? Thank you guys for hitting the goal. Dude, so, I don't know if you know this. Augie and his dad are like big Billy Mitchell. Well, and Augie's dad is definitely a big Billy Mitchell fan. I think Augie was still at this point as well. And I think he definitely is now. But he said something to his dad, like saying, he mentioned like so he was at the event. They had seen Billy Mitchell in person across the room. And he said something about cheating. And Augie swears that Billy looked across the room directly at him and his dad. He told me this story right after the event at what's it called? Fat People Convention. It's not Fat People Convention. But Retropalooza, that's the expo. He claimed to me that like the sea had parted and Billy Mitchell stared him directly in the eye. like it was like a fucking like a like it was like he was like a demon. He just like looked across the room and locked eyes with him immediately. Billy Mitchell. Okay, that's funny. He told me this story years ago. It was the funniest shit I ever heard. Holy fuck. Yeah, he told the story. He actually did. That's so funny. Yeah, I can attest he did tell that a long time ago. He said it last week. That's hilarious. Yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to end off tonight because we're about 5 hours and 20 minutes. I'll do the next stream is going to be Sunday, and I might be Sunday morning. It might be a lot sooner than you're expecting because I got some shit to do Sunday evening, and I'll probably have to wake up pretty early to do the stream. I might be encroaching on Mr. Logic's time slot that day because it's the only way I can stream. We're going to do Pokemon. We're going to do, we might do Louis Rossman, but we're definitely going to do Willie's video. Holy shit, dude. Everyone who slandered Billy, therefore, will get chained to the sauce. Dude, I need... Keem texted me. He ensured me that I will be getting one of these fucking lolcow edition ones. He's like, don't worry, we'll have you one. I can't wait to get that bottle, bro. Holy fuck. I'm gonna have a line of... Because I'm using the hot sauce, and I'm gonna fill them with, like, red
What's the
sand.
name of the guy... Keemstar Orbiter.
After I'm done with them,
DeOrio.
and then like
Mr.
put the cap
Oreo.
back on, so they're gonna be like the little bottle because the bottles have the cool artwork on it. I'm gonna fill them with sand after I'm done with them. Yeah, the hot sauce. Well, I'm putting them in the arcade. That's the best place to put them is to put them in the home arcade. Oh shit, dude. Yeah. I gotta I gotta post an arcade update. I put this new fucking sign in Godzilla. It looks sick, dude. Holy shit. I upgraded the fuck out of this machine. And I got the buoy working properly now in Jaws. Fucking fun. We gotta do a pinball stream soon, guys. I haven't done one in ages. It's starting to get a little too hot. So I gotta do one soon before I guess the pinball season of shit that I could actually do is over. I gotta do one. I think we might do Jaws next. We haven't done Jaws in a while. Or maybe Godzilla again now that it's been super upgraded. Because I put the fucking buoy in. I added this buoy to Jaws. It looks so fucking good in game. Hold on, we don't need to hear me talk. But it's got like a motor in it, and then there's a screen where the 8 is, so it gives you like game information. And then I gutted all the back. I gutted all the buildings back. I got to do this building still. I don't have it yet from the guy. But we got new buildings here with custom lighting effects and additional signs. It does not do it justice. And then the new Godzilla here that lights up different. It's sick looking. And that's the noodle building. Yeah, I upgraded the fuck out of these machines.
Keffels appreciated the shout out.
Yeah, that's the black and white Godzilla. But that building still needs to get done. And this is what it looks like stock. It just has these plain white buildings, the little doofy Godzilla. I mean, it's fine for what it is. The little plastic UFO. I upgraded this sign right here. The new sign is fucking amazing looking. And then just like so yeah, I've been having some fun here. I don't know if I'm gonna do this building. This building is a little dicey to pull all the way out and then upgrade. But there is like a light up upgrade, like in a whole thing there.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
Tipster, my dream was to always have a setup like yours, but with arcades instead of pinball. I'm glad that my crash outs helped finance you living my dream. Fuck, dude. To be fair, Tipster, you paid for Jaws. Oh, God, dude. Holy shit. But yeah, that's, yeah, fuck me, dude. If I had to do it all again, though, I'd probably go more pinball than arcade. I think out of my home arcade, the only shit that really gets play is the Pac-Man one. And again, it's arcade 1-ups. Those aren't real fucking arcade machines. But the arcade 1-ups, are like the custom one that I upgraded, the hockey one that I made. Well, I didn't make the art, but I gutted it and put a new computer in it. The Pac-Man, the Miss Pac-Man machines, like that has Galaga and stuff on it, those get play. Time Crisis and Terminator 2 get play. And then funny enough, Fast and the Furious, despite the fact that it's a recent Raw Thrills title, gets a decent amount of play down there. I don't play a shitload of Mortal Kombat. I don't play a shitload of Marvel vs. Capcom, and usually people who come over aren't really knowledgeable on the controls, so they just get murdered by the fucking AI, or they get completely. We have like the worst fight of our lives in a 2-player thing. Yeah, the other one, actually NFL Blitz isn't horrible, and NBA Jam is on the other cabinet. I don't have a specific Jam one. Is there anything else I'm missing? If I am missing something, it really doesn't get play. Oh, yeah, the fucking Atari cabinet, the Atari 50th with like Centipede and stuff. To be honest, I got that more for other people who come over. I'm not like a huge retro Atari guy. I'm picking like a Namco game over the Atari stuff, usually 10 out of 10 times. Are you a fan of racing games? The problem with racing games is I built my arcade off arcade 1-ups, and then I bought a digital pinball, and then I was like, because I never thought I'd be able to own a regular pinball, and then I bought a regular pinball, and I was like, fuck, I wish I got original arcades. And I again, like I would do, dude, if I did this differently, I would buy one of those newer, I would buy like a recreation Donkey Kong. I would buy one of those newer Pixel Bash Pac-Man machines. I would not go arcade 1-up if I rebuilt this. And eventually, I probably will just go real shit from then on through. But racing games on arcade 1-up, you had 3 choices: Fast and the Furious, Fast and the Furious, and fucking the Sega one. I have that. I literally have it. I can't remember. Ridge Racer. So Ridge Racer and Fast and the Furious. Fast and the Furious gets more play. And then Outrun was the other alternative. But Outrun was a sit-down arcade. And the stand-up one was few and far between to get. Again, there's no Daytona. If there was Daytona, Daytona would be in my basement. But that's like the game to get, right? It's space, apparently. What did Billy say? Nick, I could probably find you good deals if you want help. The problem is in the basement that I'm in, it's extremely difficult to get any of this shit down there. I just pay people to bring the pinballs down. But I think in a couple of years, I'm gonna probably redo the arcade. I gotta tell you, half the fun of having a home arcade is building the home arcade. And now that I'm in a place that I'm really happy with, I want to keep building the arcade. Dude, I saw this recently. Fuck me, bro. I know it's like controversial because of the subject matter, and I don't care about that at all whatsoever, but people are complaining about it. I've never owned a JJP in my life.